This is the Big O Show. 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 This
So here we are. I wanted to show you the backyard again because we had some trouble last time, but you know, cuttersedgepro.com does some amazing stuff, and they're the boys and the girl. They're having fun. There we go. Right, Maiden? Right, Bono? There we go. They're having fun. I'm having fun. Look at our Sylvester palm. It is beautiful. We got another one in the front yard like that. You can take your home and landscaping to the next level. And the artificial turf, look at that. Look at that, the two dinosaurs going at it, huh? Look at that. Gotta love the dinosaurs. Look at them. They like to bite each other's legs. That's what they do. They play with each other and then they bite each other and they piss each other off. It's fun. One is Bono, which is the one farther away from you, and Maiden. She's the girl right here. She's a badass. That's for sure. So anyway, see the flowers are coming out. Very nice. cuttersedgepro.com, folks. This big tree there will start budding that I'm showing you there soon. It'll have all kinds of flowers. I'll post another video and I'll show it to you. This is a backyard where everybody gets to hang out. Over there in that corner there, I put the barbecue and cook. So that way it's the farthest away from the house, you know. If I light myself on fire or somebody else, we're out in the corner away from everybody. There you go. So you can get some flowers coming out, which is a beautiful thing. And I swear by this artificial turf, it always looks phenomenal. I don't have to cut it. I don't have to water it. And so I'm saving a lot of money, hundreds and thousands in the long run, because I'm not watering or, of course, cutting the grass. And you know, here in South Florida, we cut the grass like every 10 to 14 days.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com. Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Your home for everything Heat.
They stand eye to eye with history, and they did not blink. The Heat are going to the NBA Finals.
Panthers.
The Florida Panthers are heading to the Stanley Cup Finals.
The Big O Radio Show goes deep on playoff coverage.
We don't care what the rest of the world is saying. We don't care who's criticizing who. You got to line up between these four lines, and let's figure this out.
The Big O Radio Show. The viewpoints, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Alrighty, good afternoon, boys and girls. Welcome aboard to the program. Yes, sir, it is Thursday afternoon, and where are we? Well, it says it back there. It says it around me now because we got a new background now. We got a HialeahPark and Big O Show teaming up background, so it's a beautiful thing. Anyway, looks good, actually. Looks really, really, really good. Overall. So I like that. So we will, maybe this will lead to some other things that we're going to end up doing here on Le Platform. We are here at the second floor casino, and we're in the poker room where you can come on out and do all the gambling that your heart desires and enjoy the captain's chairs, the lovely ladies bringing you drinks and food. So if you want to eat a little something, it's a smoke-free casino, so you won't have anybody blowing smoke in your face. They do have outside, under roof, it's called the Smoking Hot Slots. So you can go outside, and if you want to bring your vape pipe or your cigarette or a cigar, you can enjoy it out there. By the way, here in the second floor, they've got they got a terrace, a balcony out here, and the smokers that are in here, right, when they want to take their break, they go outside and they take a smoke break. So they give you a couple areas where you can relieve yourself, but inside the casino, no smoking. So it's actually a smoke-free casino, which is pretty freaking cool. For those of you, because sometimes you don't want that smoke hitting your face. It bothers some people. You know what I'm saying? I know personally, for me, cigarette smoke bothers me. Cigar smoke doesn't bother me. The other funny stuff doesn't bother me either, but cigarette does. So if I'm in Vegas, yeah, there are times I've gone to a table where yeah, too many people smoking a cigarette. I'm out of here, and I won't even sit in that table because of that. So you won't get that here. So there you go. We got a bunch of guests. Alan Poupart's going to join us at 3:15. Marcel Louis Jacques will stop by at 4 o'clock. We were at Dolphins camp again today. Third day of mini camp as they wrap it up. So we will give you a little recap of what went on. Last night, the Heat lost to the Nuggets. We talked about it on the post-game show. If you did not hear it, there it is. I will make a couple of extra points, but I'm not going to go repeating everything I talked about yesterday. But we kind of went over thoroughly why they ended up losing, yesterday. And we'll talk about a couple of other things that I want to get into. Vegas and the Panthers, game 3, must win the next 2 games for the Panthers. Not just tonight, but they've got to win the next 2 games. They cannot lose any of the next 2 games. They've got to find a way to turn things around and win. And if they don't, it's over. Let's just put it that way. It's over. And if they lose tonight, it's over because they're not going to win 4 in a row against Vegas. Okay. It's been a miracle run, but you can only go to the well so many times. So if the Panthers don't want to put themselves in that near impossible hole, you need to come up with a big W tonight. Okay. And in game 4 too. That's kind of the position they're in. The Heat, they are also in a all win mode situation in game 4. They cannot lose. They do. It is over. It's flat out over for them too. Congratulations to the Marlins. They end up sweeping the sorry-ass Royals with a 6-1 win yesterday. Cabrera was terrific. 5-4. Improves to 5-4. 5 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 4 Ks. Jesus Sanchez went 3 of 4. He's batting .306. So home run number 6, 3-run home run in the 3rd inning. Rays is batting .403, went 204 with 2 RBIs. That means you got to give them a victory cigar. They're off today, by the way. Thursday, they will start a set against the White Sox. So, there you go. More winnable games for them. The other one is Inter Miami. Interim head coach Javier Morales has not screwed things up before Tata Martino gets here. And they end up beating Birmingham last night 1-0 in U.S. Open Cup game. Stefanelli with the goal in the 56th minute. Dude, I had a mission at first trying to find the game. It was in Paramount. So you have to go to Paramount Plus, and then you go to the live TV of Paramount Plus, and there was the CBS Golazo Sports Network or whatever the hell it's called, because I thought it was on ESPN Plus. So I'm looking all over ESPN Plus. I can't find the U.S. Open Cup game. I know most of you don't give a shit, but I do. I love local soccer. Always have. And so I'm looking for it. Then I go, okay, well, maybe it's on, because YouTube has a lot of the USL and lower league levels, games and all that. And I go, okay, well, maybe US Open Cup is there. Nothing, bro. And then I go on social media and I find something about CBS Golazo and Paramount. And I go, oh, shit. So then I went to Paramount TV, and I don't know if you have that app.
I have Paramount, yeah.
So it was there. I don't know. You probably didn't find the game last night.
No, I didn't try, honestly, because since the Apple TV thing with the
right,
I just kind of.
But it's not on Apple.
No, I know.
US Open Cup is not on Apple.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like it was a mission. Like I found it like 8 minutes late. Into the I know it was killing me that I missed the first 8 minutes of the game. But then I'm watching, and then okay, all right, now I was able to have it on the side, and so they have advanced. Well, first of all, let's light it up. Let's give them a victory cigar on that one. Fire away. And then we've got to congratulate them. Do you know why? They joined a special club last night. Yeah. You guys don't know this, but Inter Miami joined a really special club last night. The Final Four Club. Nova Southeastern. They won the title. They always get first call here. Then we've got the Heat in the Final Four, now in the Final Two. The Panthers went to the Final Four. They're in the Final Two. Canes basketball went to the Final Four, and FAU basketball went to the Final Four. We have 5 teams that have gone to the Final Four in their respective sports and / tournaments. Because in Inter Miami's case, it's their sports / tournament called U.S. Open Cup. You know what I mean? Maybe they'll get to the Final Four in the MLS Cup with some guy named Messi. You just never know. Lionel comes to clean this Messi up. It's kind of what he's going to try to do. But last night, I know most people never thought of this. Typical of me that I'm always thinking of all the crap outside the box. And so congratulations to Inter Miami joining the Final Four contestants here in South Florida. So how about that? Inter Miami in their own way. So the baseball team's got to do something now. They've got to get into what? The Final Four of what? Hey, right now they're in the Final 2 of the wild card. Don't they have like the top wild card spot? I want to say the Marlins have the top wild card. I know it's super early still and all that good stuff, but I didn't even think they would be here at this point. Okay. I figured by July you would kind of see where they're at. But I got to give them credit. And you look at the roster, there's like 2 guys batting over one over 300, one over 400. And then there's another guy like at 299, a couple guys at 275. They're hitting, man. They're actually hitting. They're scoring runs and they're hitting for average. And in a league that doesn't really hit for average. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. And by the way, some of you out there on Twitter, you're just a bunch of idiots. You know what I mean? It's just Dalvin Cook is going to get released on Friday. And then obviously people are still hooking the Dolphins with them. And so, we got guys here like, oh, see, he's coming. He's gonna, and I'm like, you said he'll never sign here. And I'm like, no, I never said that. Did I ever say he was never going to sign here? I said they would never trade for him, and they're never going to give him any big money. And they're not. And if he wants to sign here, he'll sign for a very cheap contract, $3-4 million, if that's what he wants to do. And that's why I don't think he's going to come here. I think he'll go to Denver, bro. No, not just that. Look at their running backs. Javanta's been a bust. He just came back he's coming back from the injury. What do they have in that depth chart? When you look at the Denver Broncos, look, I'm going to read it for you because I'm pulling it up right this second here. Denver Broncos, if he's smart, and they'll be willing to pay, they've got the money. Javonte Williams coming back from the injury, he's done nothing. They've got Samanji Pirine, Tony Jones Jr., Tyler Badie. That's it. Dalvin Cook should go there and he'd become the number 1 running back right away. Right away. And they'll give him money because they need Russell Wilson to succeed. And they're going to need a threat at running back. He's going to go to Denver, not to Miami. Denver's going to pay. Miami is not paying.
is what I've said from the get-go. They will not pay big money for Dalvin Cook. They won't trade for him, and they won't pay big money. I never said he wouldn't play here. So I just blocked one idiot for that because, you want to be a troll and come up with stupid shit that's inaccurate. That's fine, bro. I can get rid of you. I don't need you on my platform. You know what I'm saying? So I at no point did I ever say he would never play here. I said he would. The only chance he plays here is on their terms for very little money. That's it. But I told you they were never trading for him, and tons of people reported that the trade was imminent. It was going to happen. It's this, that. Never happened. And then you'll see they won't pay him big money, and I was right. If he comes here, he'll come for very cheap money. He won't sign for a lot of money. It'll be 3-4 million plus some incentives. That's what'll push it to 5-6 million or something with the incentives if he hits them. You know what I'm saying? They're not, by the way, I really like A-Chain. Or I see him. What? Oh, it's not on the chat board. It was on Twitter. It was on Twitter that I blocked the idiot. So, but maybe I'll do it here also if we have the folks that are, you don't want to listen and, start creating shit that really isn't the case. Not what I have reported from the get-go, that I have pretty much been on target with it. But it is what it is. So we'll see what happens and where he goes. But I'm pretty sure when I start looking at the scenarios, it kind of makes sense for him to go more to Denver than anywhere else because they desperately need him there. They don't have much. And here, the drafting of A-Chain already has kind of added a little bit more to what they're doing. So it is what it is. At least, we have people like Dolphin Knight. He says, I got your back, Big O. Accountability will be had. I've got the screenshots already. You have been right. Miami checked in on the price. Wasn't right now. He will be released. The only thing I disagree about is I do believe Dalvin will be signed, just not for big money. Exactly. Pretty sure I heard you say they were not trading for him, which we didn't. And the only way he'd be a Dolphin is if he takes a team-friendly deal. Been hearing you all day since the Cook rumors started. See? Some people like actually Joey Algria. Pretty sure you said multiple times that Cook would sign here if he was willing to play for a reduced amount and that Miami would not break the bank for him. I don't know what these other people are hearing. I like people like that. Those are the kind of people I like on this platform. Problem is in our society we have too many idiots that don't really listen and then they hear somebody else that spews misinformation. Example, Omar Kelly. Yeah, he throws out a tweet. Well, Tua threw 2 interceptions. He threw like highlights out there, right? A couple of things. One line was Tua threw 2 interceptions. No context. Not one of the interceptions was his fault. Not one. I saw it. I know what happened on both. X got the first one, and it was all on Braylon Sanders. Braylon's running an inside route, a slant, right? And Tua throws the slant, and he doesn't run to the point of the slant. X goes over the top of him to run the route ahead of him to get to the ball. And it's like, and I'm sitting there with O.J. McDuffie, right? And I'm saying, dude, he has to play DB at that point. He goes, yeah, that's all on Braylon right there. Braylon has to stop. He had a chance at the ball, and he did not continue through on the cut. He didn't run it with enough, aggressiveness, commitment, that kind of stuff. And then on the other one, they were clowning around, and X pulls. I forgot which was the receiver. I think it was Waddle, like really hard, like it was screwing around, and Tua just threw it up like a fun type of thing, like a 50-50 ball. And so X ends up getting it. But it was kind of one of those things where they were screwing around with each other. And it was kind of towards the end of the drill, and they were kind of playing around a little bit. And guys were joking around and all that kind of stuff. It wasn't really a serious play. I mean, context. You know, it's nice. It's really sizzling to put out a tweet and put different highlights and just so two interceptions. And then because he's so polarizing, then we've got idiots running wild going, oh, you see, he was terrible today. He threw 2 interceptions. But because you don't give context about what really happened, then now you're saying it, and now there's misinformation out there. And boy, some of you, with the misinformation, you go running wild with that misinformation. So, beautiful backyard. Thank you, Timothy. And you can call Cutter's Edge Pro so you can get your own beautiful backyard. They do an awesome job. His IG story with him at Dolphin Stadium. So what? What does it? Doesn't mean anything. Does he want to take less money? Then come on over. If he signs here, trust me, it'll be a nice team-friendly contract. It will not be big money, and I told you they were never going to trade for him. I told you they were never close to any kind of trade. So anybody tells you they were never close to a trade. So, good afternoon, Big O. Can't wait for training camp. Your show is number one. Thank you, Mr. Torres. I appreciate it. Travis says, good afternoon, Big O. I listened to your podcast last night, and I have to say I disagree. The Heat have been the underdog in every series they've played in the playoffs. You don't get past a Boston team at home if you're not good enough. You don't win games 2 of the finals away or no less if you're not good enough, like all the playoffs players say in the league. It's hard to win in this league. The Heat have ballers. We saw that earlier in the season when a different role player every night led the team in scoring. Spoelstra's coaching is fine, but the players have to knock down the shots to get stops. The only problem we are having is that more players need to step up when the star isn't getting it done. It truly has to be a team effort. Also on Bam, he hasn't shown you he's a star yet, but it's coming. When, bro? When? No. Do you really think UD or Zoe mentioned to be soft they were enforcers? That's not happening. Bam just needs to come out of his cocoon. They might lose, but it won't be because they aren't good enough. Look for the Heat to rebound. This is going to 7. If it doesn't, hats off to Denver, and the Heat need to regroup for next season. Well, look, first of all, beating Boston is terrific for the Heat, but the Celtics are not what you're making them out to be. And they constantly prove that they're underachievers and chokers and all that stuff. So the Heat is good, but the Heat is not better than Denver. And the Eastern Conference was kind of shaky, actually. When you started to look at it, Sixers weren't really as good as their record may have been. Milwaukee, you kind of got a break with the whole Giannis thing because maybe he was never the same after the injury early on. But Miami is just better coached, more disciplined than all those teams we just talked about. The Knicks, the Celtics, the Bucks. Again, it was not so much about the discipline and all that. It was more about the injury to Giannis kind of opened the door, and Miami took advantage of it. And you had a healthy Butler at that point, where now you don't have a healthy Butler, anymore. I don't know what's there to disagree with me. They didn't shoot last night, and Denver played well. They played up to their potential. And if the Heat aren't going to play well, they got no shot to win. And if they can't shoot, they got no shot to win. And if Jimmy Butler is not Jimmy Buckets, I stand by that. You're not winning this series. And last time I checked, Jimmy's not Jimmy Buckets at all. So I'm more convinced now than ever they're not going to win this series. Unfortunately. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I eat crow. I hope you guys tell me, see, you're a fool. You're wrong. Denver wasn't that good. And that's fine. And I'll enjoy a championship by my favorite team. But what I'm seeing, it's a team that's overachieved badly. And they've overachieved a lot because they have the best coach in the NBA. Period. That's why. He makes the Scrubberinis look better than what they are. He makes the Bubble Boys look better than what they are. And he's made this team better than what it really is. He does this all the time. Always. This is who Eric Spoelstra is. So you and I are going to disagree on this. They're good, of course. By the way, they didn't show shit throughout the whole year. That line you put there of we saw a different role player every night lead the team in scoring. Brother, they were barely over 500 all year. What were they, 42 and 38 or 44 and 38 or something? 44 and 38. What kind of a regular season is that? What did they show me in the regular? I'm sorry, I must have missed that one. That line there, Travis, like, showed me what, bro? You showed me you were mediocre all year long. That's what you were. You barely got in the playoffs because you were 44 and 38. They didn't show shit all year, dude. They've shown it in the playoffs. They didn't show shit all year. They were nothing all year. They were a middling team all year. You know, you got to sometimes separate yourself as a fan and look at it objectively a little bit. John Padilla, Lisa Rose, thank you, dude. 67, Stetton. Oh, yes.
So,
by the way, Poop hasn't checked in yet.
No, I'll send him a time. I'm sorry, it was 3:15. I was thinking 3:30. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Wanted to ask you something because Denver, somebody said that Frank Clark had signed, and they have signed Frank Clark to a $5.5 million deal.
Who?
Denver.
Oh, 1 year.
1 year, 5.5 guaranteed.
Yeah, that's nothing.
They had 7.7 in cap space. So I mean, they only have 2.2 now for if they.
No.
How does that work? That's what I wanted to ask you.
Yeah,
I don't know the cap space.
He probably got like a $1 million signing bonus or no signing bonus. So right now they still.
It says base value of 5.5. They haven't really gone into everything as far as that hasn't come out yet. So
yeah, I don't know what his salary is.
Okay.
I don't know what it is. I have to know because it's 1 year 5.5.
It says base value of 5.5. All of which is guaranteed.
Oh no!
And then another $2 million is available via incentive, so it could be a 7.5.
No! So yeah, or they get that deal, and then they get that bonus, and then they break it up into next season, and they split it if they can do something like that. I'm not sure if
that's the only thing I wasn't sure. That's why I wanted to ask you about that because now that takes away a little bit of that money.
Well, the bonus is what they can do and put it back.
Okay,
but they don't have a lot of cap space if they did that.
Yeah,
if they gave 5.5 guaranteed. Then that took up a whole chunk of it.
They had 7.7 left, and then so now they.
So Dalvin's going to have.
I went to double check that because I saw someone there say that.
So Denver knows that Miami isn't going to offer much.
So they're like,
hey, you know, this is all we got, but you're going to play a lot more here than there. So come on over. Wow. No. The running back, it's. You know, I was going to talk about this the other day. Derrick Henry, nobody touches him. Nobody. So if you think you're a running back away, wouldn't you trade for Derrick Henry for just a year or two? Now, maybe he wants a long-term deal at 29, which nobody's going to give him that. And that's Derrick Henry. He's rarely ever injured. Like Dalvin Cook has had a whole crap of injuries. He's left games, a whole bunch of games throughout his career with injuries. So he's had an injury history. Now, Derrick Henry's had very little injuries. And the guy's a workhorse. And nobody trades for him. Nobody wants him. It's nuts how the running back position is not valued, man. Eric Simon is in the house. Gus 1388. EJ Barro, Nyborg, Lenny Pena, Bentley, Brian Landis. Pena says, can you tell us how I went at Dolphins camp today? Skyler and Mike White both threw interceptions. Mike threw the ugliest interception of the day. Skyler still outplayed Mike White. Really like what I see out of A-Chain. He looks in terrific shape. Braxton Berrios looks like he's doing more side work. He must be dealing with some kind of an injury because he's in full pad, shells and helmet, everything. He's ready to practice, but he's working on the side. So he might be working on some kind of tweak or something. Not a serious thing. He moved good. He was running around fine. Okay. there's a part of me that's kind of thinking very Oliver Stone-ish, to be quite honest. Maybe they don't want to play Braxton Berrios in front of all of us, because then we're either going to talk about it, write about it, and teams don't need to find out. But then again, I'm thinking you're not going to be able to hide him once you get to training camp at the preseason. You're going to use him, because I think Braxton Berrios is going to have a monster year with Miami. I think he's going to play that slot magically for this team, because you have to worry about the two monsters on the outside. All right. And I think you also have to kind of worry about the running game too, because I think the running game is going to be a threat, this year. So I think he's going to be a hell of a player for this offense. But it's funny how he's just working on the side, but he looks good. So, you know what? Poupart popped in, right? All right, let's go. Let's talk a little Miami Dolphins, and we'll talk a little Okie with the man, the myth, the legend, baby. Yeah, our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins and NFL report with the one and only Alan Poupart.
Dolphins fans, time to get insight on your favorite team with your favorite reporter with an Expos hat. Sports Illustrated's Alan Poupart in our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report, exclusively on a Big O radio show.
All right. And Knight, thank you for the super chat. I know you got my back, my brother, but you listen, you follow the show, you pay attention to what we have been talking about. Here's the man. How you feeling, baby? You feeling good?
Sure.
Should I feel good about my Panthers tonight?
Can you ask me in about, 6 hours, 7 hours?
After the fact? Yeah, way to go.
How's that for? Look, I mean, they raised their level of play and maxed out the ability on their roster big time in the first three series. They did to a certain degree in game one, certainly didn't in game two. They got to get back to that level of play or they're going to get handled again, because Vegas, let's not kid ourselves, is a better team.
Yeah.
So they got to play. I don't want to say a perfect game, but they got to play close to it, and they weren't anywhere near that in game two. So I'm hoping that being back home, they haven't played since Monday night, we'll get a good performance out of the Panthers, and then let's see where that takes us.
Sean and I were talking about this before we got on the air. Has the physical, hey, let's get physical, kind of backfired on them? Because it seems like they punch, but Vegas has had a better counter punch.
No, where it's hurt them is they're getting the penalties, and Vegas isn't as much. And some of them, I mean, I don't want to be that guy. They didn't lose game two.
I know, like Montour, that was just stupid. Yes, I know what you're saying.
That was completely stupid. There was another one early on. Oh, Lomberg's cross-checking in the face of Marshall. So that was, why are you doing that? That's an automatic call. There have been others like the Kachuk hit on Jack Eichel in open ice the last game.
That was a good hit.
It's a completely 100% clean hit. There was nothing wrong with it. And Eichel literally did a toe stick. I don't remember the phrasing of it, but it's basically the front of his skate jammed into the ice, and he fell forward into Kachuk. That's why it looked so horribly bad. Kachuk's shoulder was completely tucked in the entire time, never lifted the elbow, wasn't going for the head. It's just a guy fell into him. And then what happens is Vegas goes after Kachuk, which is understandable because it's a bad-looking hit. And then Kachuk winds up with a 10-minute misconduct out of the whole thing.
Right.
Where you lose your best player for 10 minutes off of a completely clean hit.
Did Eichel pull a Cam Cameron? He failed forward fast?
Okay. Yes, he did. That's good. Very good. Summer of 2007.
Just want to throw that out there. Mix it up since we are going to talk a little football too. What's it called? The Gudis back. That is huge news.
With a capital U. Yes.
Huge. It's huge. Yeah, you need I mean, we were just talking about enforcers and playing physical and all that. Without that guy and my God, on defense, you can say whatever you want about, you think he's a goon or something like that if you want to throw that out there. But defensively, I think he's a really smart player, bro.
He's very, very, very solid, and I don't think he gets enough credit for as sound as he is defensively. And let's just say teeters the line between aggressive and over the top. And the Panthers don't have a lot of physicality on their back end. They have a couple of guys like Forsling's not an enforcer; he's a finesse player. Montour's a finesse player. Ekblad, despite having a lot of size, is not an overly physical guy. Gudis brings you that presence in the back end.
Yeah, he's not Ty Domi.
No, he's not Ty Domi. But they absolutely need
Worrell. Okay.
Yeah, those players might have been described as not by me, but they might have been described as goons by others.
They were very Hanson-like. Although is that term too? We're like we get it, but younger people aren't going to know what the Hanson brothers are.
Maybe
That's the problem,
if you're
right?
a hockey fan, you know. But enforcers is the proper term to use.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. All right, Bob, are you a little concerned with Bob going into tonight? It's not so much because it really wasn't all on him. It was really mostly on the defense in front of him.
Yeah.
But whether you're confident in yourself or not, you also have to have confidence in the people in front of you, and you can't have that kind of doubt. So I just kind of worry about Bob a little bit going into this game. Is he going to think that I got to do a little bit more than I should because the guys in front of me aren't doing what they're supposed to do? What about that situation right now with the goalie and especially the people in front of him for tonight?
Yeah, no, I'm not worried about that in the sense of having confidence in the players in front of him. What he's going to tell his D is if you're going to go in front of a shot, block it or get the hell out of the way, one of the two. And the issue with Bob in game 2, and Paul Maurice alluded to that in a day after press conference or after the game, like I don't think you can look at any goal and say, well, that one's on Bob, that one's on Bob. It's just that he didn't really necessarily make that really big save that can elevate the whole team. Right. And that's what he had done in the previous series. I
think there was one, maybe the third goal might have been that was kind of like
the one off near the post.
I think you could have done a little better on that one. The other ones, I kind of blame the people in front of him, dude. To be quite honest,
he was screening. He was screening on all of them. But again, they're at this stage when they're playing a team that's got more ability than they do. That they need to maximize everything, and that means Bob. And right now.
And by the way, Hill did what you just talked about that you didn't see from Bob. That, okay, things weren't great in front of him, and maybe he wasn't as sharpest, but there was no special save in that game or two that you were like, the kind of shit that turns things around, the kind of shit that inspires your teammates, that kind of stuff. Where Hill made a couple of stabs that night that you were like, shit, dude, you can't get anything past this guy.
Well, especially remember game 1, the Kirk Cousins. Wow. I got a football mind right now. The Nick Cousins tap in from the Tkachuk pass where everybody's thinking it's a goal. And then at the last second, he puts his stick down. That's the kind of game-changing save. And
on this show, you can just call him Primo. So that way you don't have to worry about it.
Primo. No, and then coming into the series, I thought the Panthers had the edge in goaltending. And right now, Hill has outplayed Bobrovsky in the series so far. But it's only 2 games. We'll see where it goes.
All right, must win tonight, right? I mean, there's no turning back here. You got to come out of here with a W.
Yes, and I think I told you this at the Dolphin facility. The Panthers are now 0-6 in Stanley Cup final games. Can we get 1 win, please?
Yeah.
1 win?
Yeah. No, that's a good point. You definitely got to get a win. All right. Your thoughts on practice today? Would you like? By the way, Omar goes, hey, Tua threw 2 interceptions. He didn't throw any context in there. Like the Sanders one that X went over on top of him. Sanders, I was talking with OJ about that. Sanders screwed up on that one. He didn't run it hard enough, and he had to play DB there. If you're not going to get in the inside tractor, you can't let the DB go over on top on you. That was weak.
Yeah, I couldn't tell. You sure it was? I thought it was Izukama when I first looked when they were walking because I couldn't see. It was kind of far, and I thought it might have been Izukama, but the point remains the same. It was a slant where X played the route as the receiver.
Yeah.
And again, it happened quickly. I'm not at the point where I'm going to assign blame because again, I'd have to see the replay to see exactly how he made the cut because it looked to me like X completely jumped the route. So I don't know if the receiver even had the chance to make the sharper cut. that to me looked like X was in the offensive huddle, knew what play was coming, and
He kind of knew. He kind of knew it, and the kid has to know that the defense is going to know a lot of the shit you're doing anyways because they see you every day, every week. So you've got to play it hard on the when you slant like that. You've got to make sure you body him, and he did not, man. And by the way, the positive of that play, X looks good, dude. X looks healthy. X has spring in his step. And let me tell you, he's also taking part in a lot of this stuff, which a lot of times he's taken off. I think the whole Jalen Ramsey thing.
How about usually never? How usually never? And when have you seen him in the off season doing team drills like this? I've never seen it. And he does look. I think he's got a chip on his shoulder to show that last year, Pro Bowl or not, was a crappy season for him, and he's not putting up with that again. But
those of us that follow him know that he was not healthy. I mean, dude, anybody that thinks he like took it off or was shit or whatever, dude, he was injured last year. It's clear that he was injured last year. And when you watch him right now, that to me is the cool part, that he looks really good. And by the way, it was good to see Jalen Ramsey there too, taking part in the drills. You got your top two corners there. That's awesome.
Yeah, one or two players. But here's the thing though. You and I both know he wasn't right, but it still doesn't change the fact. Like, for example, the Thursday night game, in that game, you could tell it was clear he wasn't right, and he got beat one-on-one by T. Higgins, and it wound up being a long touchdown. If you don't think that pisses off X and his ego, I think you're crazy, and that's the kind of stuff he wants to go back. But I'm going to go back to the other play, unless I see a replay where the wide receiver, whether it was Sanders or Zizukama, was lazy in the slant. I'm not buying those if the DB cuts in front. That's like the same play, the Super Bowl winning play for the Patriots with Malcolm Butler, because there was some criticism at times about the wide receiver didn't do a good enough job of protecting the play. No, the DB crashed the play and got in front and got in the passing lane. That's not on the wide receiver. And on that pass, again.
Well, that was really all on the coach for making that damn.
Well, no, correct. But that's a different. But it's the same kind of play.
That's the whole conversation. That's all.
It's a quick slant that gets.
Fundamentally, it was a great play by Malcolm Butler. I know what you're saying.
And today was a great play by X.
It was a great play by X.
And like I said, I didn't notice that the slant was sloppy. If you show me a replay, okay.
I did. The way I looked at it, and when I went upstairs and I go, OJ, did you notice the same thing? And Kenjemi also noticed the same thing. So I asked both, did you notice the same thing that the wide receiver, kind of didn't run with authority on that one? He goes, yeah, man, he had to play DB there. If he wasn't going to reach it, which I think OJ kind of felt that the receiver, if he runs hard enough, he could have reached that ball, and he didn't. At least you've got to body the guy and knock down the ball, and he didn't.
I had my eyes on X on that play, and I just saw X make a beeline for it.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was awesome. Dude, he went right around him with a quickness and snatched that ball. That was freaking excellent on him.
So where we agree on that particular one right there is I'm not jumping all over two on that one.
No, I'm not at all.
Where we disagree is I'm not ready to say it was way more about X kicked ass on that play, played that brilliantly more so than the wide receiver did a lousy job on that.
Yeah. Well, I'm a little unhappy with Braylon on that one, but then I got to give Braylon Sanders some love, because then he comes back on the slot, on the slant on the left side, and and it was a bad pass by Tua.
It was behind him.
Okay, that one was high and a little behind, and Sanders one-handed it, and it was the catch of camp today.
Yeah.
The Sanders catch. So he kind of made up for it on that one. That was really nice of his.
Yep.
That was really, really good. What else stood out to you today? Because it's hard for the physical part and the linemen and all that kind of stuff. What else did you like today?
Well, there was some physicality at some point late in the practice with Raekwon and Liam Eichenberg getting in their face a little bit.
Yeah.
Raekwon's looked really good to me. I've not been necessarily a huge fan of his game, but he's looked very impressive to me in those. Well, yeah, but in the off-season practices that have been open to the media, he's been more like this than like this.
Good. It's contract year.
Well, there you go. That's a great motivator, isn't it?
Yeah. And dangerous. Very dangerous, because if you're the front office, you're going, did he turn the corner, or is he a con artist?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Did he just ball for a contract, and then we're going to get back the guy we had for 3 years that was, flashing us and showing us like, bro, you got skills. You got You got gifts. Let's go. Let's see it all the time. And that's the dangerous part of getting the guy to break out on his contract year.
Yeah, especially a guy who has obvious physical ability but doesn't always play up to it. It's kind of like, if you remember, there's a
Daryl
little
Gardner.
bit. Well, no, because Darren Gardner I think was more consistent, but there's a little bit of Jordan Phillips there.
Yeah, that's even better. That's even better because Daryl did take plays off, but Daryl had some significant successes too at the same time.
Yeah.
But Jordan Phillips here, that's a better, because Jordan Phillips became a better player after he left here because of getting cut and all that.
He
So
did.
yeah, you're right. You're right.
He'd make a couple of plays where we're like, man, this guy can be dominant when he's on, man. But there are other games where it's like, did he play? So you were asking Bryce Thompson, the cornerback, again. Well, I'm mixing my sports here. Dolphins signed out of the XFL. They had 2 picks today. I think that's 3 or maybe 4 that we've seen. There's something there. Obviously, I don't want to focus too much on him because he's a bottom of the roster type of guy.
No, but you should, because that's where they find jewels all the time. DBs.
There's not that many slots open though. That's the thing.
It don't matter, but it's depth, and you gotta keep an eye on it because people get injured, and now you say, okay, Bryce is going to have an opportunity to make this team now because somebody got injured, that kind of stuff. But when you see a DB nowadays, you have to take a second look here and say, well, wait a minute, these people find guys under the radar all the time at that position.
No, they have a good track record there with Needham Cater the past couple of seasons, and this guy. I mean, he looks the part. In a worst case scenario, if he makes the practice squad, gives you insurance in case something happens. So, no, he's another guy who kind of stood out to me. Outside of that, it was typical practice. Although the offense wasn't good, there were 5 interceptions total, and this was easily the best performance by the defense in the practices that we've seen.
Braxton Berrios, you see him working off on the side. He is in full practice uniform, so shells and everything, but it seems like he's working on, but he's moving well. When I'm watching him run on the other side of the field by himself, I see a guy moving really, really well, so I think we're all dying to see him out there. Do you see it like maybe it's probably a little bit of some kind of a rehab, or are they holding him out from us seeing him? I don't know.
No, he's.
They don't want you writing about him, bro. They want you to keep writing Chosen.
No, and Chosen looks fabulous, man. Holy moly, does he look good?
He caught another touchdown down the sidelines today.
He did, and you see how he separated after he caught the ball.
Yeah,
he's got some wheels on him.
Yeah, he can fly.
No, they have a few of those players. I mean, I count maybe like 7 or 8 who you didn't see. Like Jalen Phillips didn't do anything this week. David Long Jr. didn't do anything. Channing Tindall didn't do anything. Needham, Brennan Jones, obviously. Teron Armstead didn't do anything. Tyreek didn't do anything. And you mentioned Barrows. It's probably like some minor nick of or something, and it's mini camp practices. I think you know what you have in Braxton Berrios pretty much.
I know. Really good. It seems like they want to find out about Chosen and Braylon and some of the other guys to see what they got in them. What's the name of the kid that caught the touchdown from Tua yesterday? Spiro Davis or something. What's his name?
David Davis?
Huh?
David Davis? Are you talking about?
There you go. Spiro Davis. That's him. Yeah, exactly.
Spiro Davis.
Yeah, that's him. It looks like they're trying to find out more about those guys right now to see what they have. And maybe some of those guys don't return for camp, by the way.
Well, they know what they have in Robbie Chosen. I don't think he needs to prove it to them. I think once you see him running, yeah, the dude can run, the dude gets open, the dude catches the ball. So I think, yeah, I've been very, very impressed with him. And to me, he's almost a slam dunk number 3 guy right now.
Okay. Anything else caught your eye?
Jake Bailey, absolutely beautiful the way he pooch punts. It's only 2 punts, but I mean, it's really, really, really high. It's got the beautiful spin. It lands inside the 5-yard line and it bounces the right way. I mean, and then Michael Turk tried the same thing. It was from bigger distance. It landed at the 2-yard line and then rolled forward into the end zone. And it didn't have quite the hang time. So I think I look at Jake Bailey and it's like, yeah, you see why the Dolphins signed.
Yeah. What do you see in Sanders so far?
Can't tell. We don't have the angle I can't even tell you if he made the kicks or not. I mean, the kicks are long enough. I can't even tell you. We don't have the angle, and we don't have the official at practice to tell us, to make the signal.
I want to say he missed 2 today.
Oh, he did. Okay.
Out of all those kicks, I think he made most of them, and I think there was 2 that went to the left, if I'm correct. Because I was upstairs.
Were you seated somewhere else where you had a better angle, Night? Because I couldn't tell.
I don't know. I've got good vision. I mean, I had
I got good vision. I got good vision too, but it's like the angle. We're on the side, and
I kind of just look for the ball to go either right in front of the pole or behind it. That's what I'm looking for. And it seemed like there was actually it was one. The other kid's the one that missed the other one that I was talking about. Actually,
there is no other kid. Who are you talking about?
Who's the other kid that? Yeah,
you don't have another kicker in camp.
Oh no! So then it was 2 of them by him.
Yeah.
I thought they had another guy. Did I see another number or? Huh? There is 2 punters. Yeah, there is 2 punters.
Not kickers.
Not kickers. I thought it was a sec. You know what? I thought there was a second guy. My bad on that one. I thought it. So it's the punter. Okay. Did the punter try a kick? I wonder if that was what it was.
I don't believe so.
I saw a different number making a kick and it missed. No, maybe it was him. Maybe I got it confused. Maybe it was him that missed twice.
It was him.
Because that's what I thought it was initially, but then I'm thinking, I thought it may have been another number. I don't even have the roster in front of me now to look at it again to see if I can remember memory.
No, he looked fine, and it's just like kicking is like so fickle. I mean, you could have somebody who never misses a kick in practice, and he goes in the game and he goes 1 for 3.
He hit one from like 55 today. That was.
He had one from 57 yesterday. That was long enough, and it looked good.
Beautiful. Yeah. He nailed one today from 55. That was really, really nice, dude. Yeah. I was. I mean,
it matters until you get to a game, and then he's got to do it under those situations. All you want to see in practice is the ball getting off the foot, normally, and by all appearances, it is.
I thought last year he turned the corner in the last couple of weeks, and when he hit that big one against the Bills, I thought that was a really good sign for him. So I'm hoping Sanders has turned the corner, bro.
He can't. For all the problems he had last year, he came up with a one clutch kick, which was the one against the Jets to put him in the playoffs. Right. That was a money kick, and he nailed it.
Yeah. What do you got? What are you working on over at Sports Illustrated so folks can check you out?
Well, we had our normal practice coverage with the Mike McDaniel highlights from his pre-practice media session. We had my complete rundown of what we saw at practice. We have Omar's 5 observations. I would just put up something addressing the Dalvin Cook situation, which now reaches another gear because apparently the Vikings are being stupid enough to release him. Somebody's going to have to explain to me why, because I don't get it.
Nobody trades for running backs, bro. They don't trade for running backs.
No, I'm saying why get rid of him, period.
That makes no sense.
I don't get it.
I think it's because they already made Madison their guy. They put him on the Viking thing, the whole thing, and kind of put Dalvin in the background. And so you've already created like a scene where you already say you want him to be the number one and not you anymore. And I think they just don't want an uncomfortable place, no matter what. Even if they're a better team with him, the idea of him being around and watching Madison take his job when he probably thinks he still deserves the job. You know what I'm saying? So I think they had to part ways because it was too uncomfortable at this point. You know what I'm saying?
Please explain to me how that makes them a better. And they were 13-4 last year. And yes, I get it. They got incredibly lucky. It was maybe the worst 13-4 team in the history of the NFL. They still were 13-4. The division is not better. It's weaker because the Packers don't have Aaron Rodgers anymore. And basically now they're dumping Dalvin Cook. They're apparently taking phone calls for Daniel Hunter.
Yeah.
And they dumped a couple of other players. What the hell are they doing? That makes no sense to me.
Hunter would be the guy I would trade for, but yeah, it's they clearly are, they're turning the page and they're resetting that roster. There's no doubt about that. And that's why winning is not really a priority for them. If it was, they would keep Cook and they would have brought along Madison with him and kept Cook for one more season, let him finish it out, and then Madison can take over. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, no, and here's the thing, and their defense sucked last year, and you can say whatever you want, and I know you want to say a lot in his ability as a head coach, but I think you and I can both agree that Brian Flores is going to be a hell of a defensive coordinator, and that defense is going to take a big jump in 2023 by his mere presence there. And then, but they're like still dumping good players left and right. It makes no sense. Anyway, but I examined the situation.
Hey, but listen, didn't they run it by him? He loves tanking. So
you couldn't resist, could you? No, actually,
Brian Flores.
They go. No,
he goes somewhere else where they want to tank.
He doesn't like tanking. He doesn't like tanking, period. Otherwise, he'd have played Josh Rosen that entire 2019.
I know that, but that's my point. Since he loves tanking so much, he's going to love it in Minnesota now.
It's funny.
Now that they're tankers. It's a beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he's cantankerous. So it all goes well.
That was good. Well done.
There you go. That's why we do what we do here on the show. All right, so give me something else you're working on Sports Illustrated so the folks can check you out, my man.
Well, that's a lot of things right there. Omar's going to write about Tyreek Hill and his interesting comments post-practice as well. And we're going to keep – today was the last day of the off-season program other than rookie orientation for some of the rookies. But for the veterans, they're done, but we're still going to be pumping out content. We're going to have another, Omar and I are doing another podcast tomorrow, and just keep going to alldolphins.com. There will be stuff there every day, I assure you.
Bookmark alldolphins.com. It officially makes you a Dolphins fan, and follow this man on Twitter at Poopart NFL. Alan, as always, thank you, my friend. We will catch up next week. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, sir. There you go. Alan Poupar in our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report, 305-433-4843. Listen, when you want it done right, because there's a lot of shady people out there that they kind of do half-ass construction, and they might even be doing it illegally. You want to do it the right way. You want to do it with professionals. You want to do it with people that are going to help you make your business, your home look better. And EJDconstruction.com, that's exactly what they do. They do shell construction in-house. That's how they keep their costs down low. Call them. This is the owner's personal cell number, 305-433-4843. Now, this is only for our listeners in Dade and Broward counties. Those are the only two counties that they work here in South Florida. And, folks, they can do anything that you want. We got one of our listeners that is building well, it's like an efficiency because they want to make it an Airbnb, in other words. So you could do that. You got extra property and you want to, create some income nowadays. South Florida is so popular nowadays. You've got so many people wanting to come down here and hang out for a couple days, a week or two. You can build your own Airbnb on your property. Yeah, you can start to create some revenue there. Maybe some parts of your family are moving back in and you got to consolidate. So now you got to expand the home. One of our listeners built an extra room in their home because family was expanding. Maybe you want to modernize that kitchen. We've got a couple of listeners that have actually had theater stadium seating made in their home. So they have the big old screen and then they have the different levels of seating and those big, beautiful couches. Wish I could do something like that in my house. Hell, I wish I had a room, and then I wish I had the opportunity to be able to do that. That is such a cool thing. I envy those of you that can build a stadium seating in your home, man. That is absolutely awesome. So whatever it is, custom home construction, major home remodeling, not a handyman, okay? Call EJD Construction. They have earned a AAA rating from the Better Business Bureau, 305-433-4843, and go to their IG at EJDconstruction.com, and you can see a lot of the before and after work there at Instagram. 305-433-4843.
You've been listening to the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins Report with Sports Illustrated's Alan Poupart. For additions, home remodeling, and custom work, call Eric at 305-433-4843. EJDconstruction.com is your custom home builder and general contractor you can trust. 305-433-4843.
All right. Remember, folks, you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. And don't forget to hit the hell out of that like button Very important that you smash the like button for us. In fact, go out to a whole bunch of other videos that we have on and hit the like button on all of them. Okay, seriously, take a couple minutes, hit a whole bunch of like buttons. That is huge for us. Okay, go on a crazy like brigade and like everything on our platform. We love you for that, by the way. And if your business wants to join our platform, all right, and some of our insiders, 786-754-4664. That's 786-754-4664. You can get new customers, great for branding. Reach out to us, man, at 786-754-4664 if you want to be a sponsor. All right. By the way, Heat and Nuggets. Just want to mention a couple things that I don't think are good. And I hate to put it this way. All right, I've been telling you now, I've been harping on it for a couple weeks that Jimmy Butler's not himself. Okay? Some of you kept arguing with me. I think by last night, you should have already caught up and figured out that he's not himself, right? And he's not healthy. So let me ask you something, Sean. We've had 2 days off in between games, right? Do you get 2 days off in between this game and the next? You think that's good for Jimmy Butler, that he only gets 1 day's rest? I'm listening to him in that press conference, and he's talking about, we'll get back at it tomorrow and ready. And I'm thinking, this is not good for him. He needs rest. And not that 2 days are going to make much of a difference, but 1 day is going to make no difference. And whatever is ailing him clearly is not going to heal up during this series. But rest does help. And he only gets 1 day. That, to me, that's something that I kind of cringed when I heard that last night, because I feel for Jimmy right now, man. I admire the crap out of this guy because he has sacrificed everything. I'm talking about body-wise. And he's laid it all on the line to get the Heat to this point. And God bless him. He is trying the best he can to get people involved and all that stuff. But there's only certain limitations that this team has. And he no longer can take over a game. He, a couple games ago, he got a little spurt at the end of a game and got a couple baskets. And some are, you see, he's kind of saving himself. No, he's pacing himself because there's not a lot of gas left in that tank because he's injured. And, that's one thing that I don't like, that between games 3 and 4, there's only 1 day's rest. They're back at it tomorrow. I don't know where Butler's going to be tomorrow, man, but this is one that I would be very, very nervous about. The other thing on the Heat side that I think is genius on Spo's part, and it shows why Spo is a master head coach, just a guy that really gets it and tears a page off the psychological book of Pat Riley. Because guys like Pat Riley and Jimmy Johnson, they kind of attack the psychology of sport and try to reach their players in, different ways. And one of the things that I like Spo is doing, even though it may not be true, but you say it enough, you might believe it. And that may give you the will to actually do what you need to do. And Spo's message about how they can overcome in many ways and the toughness that they've got to show, and they've got to get through it and grind through it, and it's not going to be perfect and it's hard. And we have to accept the fact that it's hard, that kind of stuff. And to me, it's fantastic, right? Because it keeps your team, at least you're trying to keep your team on that edge, the entire time, and keep feeding them that confidence, because it's not going to come from them naturally. I hate to say it, because Caleb Martin and Gabe Vincent and Duncan Robinson and even Bam Adebayo and those kind of guys, they can't. They don't think like Tim Hardaway. They don't act like Dwayne Wade. Been there, done it, fearless, all that kind of stuff. You can talk about it. You can try to act like it. But in the end, the coach talking about that and instilling it with words, I find it to be very interesting, the psychology of it, because he hammers away at it constantly. And then that means he's constantly doing it in that locker room, and he's constantly doing it on the floor and in practice. And I'm sure it could tire out some, but clearly these guys have taken all that in, because look how they've overachieved to this point. They're not more talented than Boston. They just were more mentally tough, like what Spo was talking about. They were just more resilient than the Celtics, like Spo was talking about. They were just tougher at finding ways to win against the Knicks, against the Bucks, against the Celtics, because that's what Spo keeps talking about. So I find it interesting that a lot of the stuff that he talks about kind of comes to fruition because these guys are completely committed, and you hear him talk about that, and it may not even sound realistic. It may not even sound accurate, because if you look and gauge the talent of this team and the lack of stars, we were talking about this at camp today, and Omar was part of the conversation, and Chris Perkins, and we were talking in the media room, and Perk was kind of downplaying Olajuwon, that he wasn't better than Jokic. I'm like, you're out of your mind, okay? And so I know Omar's a little younger than I am, so maybe he didn't really know the origins of Hakeem Olajuwon from Phi Slamma Jamma all the way through, and how nasty and incredible he was. But I also mentioned to him, hey man, he's the first star to ever win it by himself, because those Houston Rockets teams, he was by himself. He was by himself the first year, and the second go around he had Clyde Drexler. But I could argue with you that at that point, Clyde Drexler wasn't a franchise player anymore. He was kind of an all-star, but he was already old at that point. He was on the back nine, the back four of his career at that point, to be quite honest. He wasn't really, at that point, he was no longer really Clyde the Glide. Let's just be honest, okay? But Olajuwon's like the first guy until then later on the Pistons who, Ben was about the only star. Richard Hamilton was an all-star at best, not a real star. A really good player, but not a star. So what Spo is doing and instilling, there's a method to the madness, and you're in the finals. So it's clearly working. Are we ready to go?
No,
I'm sorry, Marcel Louis Jacques ready to go?
Real quick, about a minute ago, Gino DiMare has stepped down as the Miami Hurricanes baseball coach.
Wow, yeah, this last the last out here in the ending of the season kind of was a thump for them. I you know what? I can't blame Gino DiMare. Baseball, you don't have the same scholarship power, and
NIL's not going to help you. I mean, maybe to a point, but again, you still to go to the University of Miami in baseball without a scholarship.
No, you have to, and you don't get a scholarship.
You get
only
half.
Get half.
Yeah, I know. So half is like maybe a regular school, maybe.
Right, a half is more than you would pay full for FSU in Florida.
That's what I'm saying. You can't. I mean, what are you?
And so Florida gives you a half, then you can afford the other half for Florida State or FIU.
You have to work too hard for baseball. You have to figure out some other way.
Dude, there's there's FIU, there's Stetson, there's FAU, there's Florida, there's Florida State. There's several good baseball programs in the state outside.
And also, if you're good enough out of high school, you could probably get drafted and go and make money. You know, I mean, it's difficult.
It's so expensive at UM to have success with baseball, man. It really is. All right, let's do it. Hour number 2 is next. Marcel Louis Jacques, baby. Let's go. Let's hit the courtroom to start off hour number 2.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
Miles an hour, that's a Category 4 hurricane. 3 deaths are reported in Florida after more than 24 were killed in the Caribbean. This
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646. The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
All rise, football fans, as the Welton Rayom Miami Dolphins report with Marcel Louis-Jacques is in session.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They are committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. Here's Miami Dolphins insider Marcel Louis-Jacques.
There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. How you feeling, baby? You feeling good?
Feeling good, man. Feeling good. Feeling like we're on summer vacation. Definitely feels like summer here in Miami because it was brutally hot out today.
Well, better than smoke.
Followed by this actual hurricane. So that little hurricane commercial that you had a couple minutes ago, I thought that was real because of how hard it was raining earlier today. I was like, damn, there must be let me pay attention. Shoot. Apparently I missed the hurricane. The hurricane season was over.
Oh man. So your thoughts on camp today. What stood out to you?
Well, I didn't get to see a lot of the first part of camp because I had TV middle of the day, had SportsCenter in the middle of the right after stretching, basically.
Big big guy, huh? See, he brags to us that he had to do the hit on ESPN. Us peons.
It is what it is.
We look up on you, yes.
I worked hard. I worked for this, but but from the little I did get to see, what stood out was below average quarterback play. Mike White, from what we were able to see, I don't know what he was like every OTA practice that we weren't allowed at, but the 5 practices that we saw, Mike White has been underwhelming. Has been underwhelming. Through I think it was 2 interceptions today that I saw.
There was one that was really ugly.
Really bad one. Really bad one.
Like the safety read it. The safety read it from the second they broke the huddle. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it was bad.
Wow. I wouldn't be shocked, man. I said it last year. Remember, I said last year, if Skyler wasn't a rookie, and it's not groundbreaking, but I said it. If Skyler wasn't a 7th round rookie last year, he would have had the backup spot over Teddy based on how they played in training camp, based on how they performed. This year, he's not a rookie. He's got real game action under his belt. He's got a playoff start on the road under his belt. You don't get to write off inexperience anymore. I don't think Mike White is safe if that is the level of play that we see from him from here on out. Like it hasn't been good. He hasn't been good. And I think it's kind of concerning. What Mike's got going for him is we've seen what he's been able to do in game. You know what I mean? Like we've seen the 400-yard performances in game. So you know what he's capable of. But Jesus, if this is a merit-based system, man, Skylar is earning that number 2 job right now over Mike White.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm sure, once we get to training camp and pads and preseason, we'll get a better feel for everything. And maybe Mike's a better, player when the lights go on. That although his stats overall, they're not really impressive in the, his career stats, or I think it's like 8 touchdowns and 12 interceptions or something like that. It's not really like he's got these impressive stats, overall in his career. But I see the same thing you've watched a couple of other practices that I haven't, but in these 3 days that I went, I got to say Skylar's the better QB out of the two. There's no doubt in my mind about that.
It's not even really close. If I'm going to be honest, it's not even really close. I'm looking forward to seeing when there's a little more live of a pass rush, a little more, maybe plays aren't called dead or called dead a little quicker, training camp stuff. But man, it is noticeable. Y'all will see whenever practices are open to the public, y'all will see what I'm talking about, what we're talking about. It has been Skylar Thompson by kind of a country mile.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Dalvin Cook, I've said for months now, they were never going to trade for him, and they're certainly not going to pay a high salary for him. And I've been right on both counts. What are you expecting from this Dalvin Cook situation?
I would expect, it's hard to say right now, but I would expect that Dalvin Cook is a Miami Dolphin because I think he just wants the. Here's the thing.
Well, he's going to take a team-friendly deal. Is what you're saying. He's not going to go out somewhere else to play for money.
The hometown discount sounds great until it's in front of you. It sounds great until it's in front of you. Maybe they can heavily incentivize it. Who knows? But I think if he wants this as bad as it's been reported, then I would expect him to be a Miami Dolphin. But I mean, there are teams that have a need at running back and have maybe a little bit more money than Miami that could offer. We heard, we heard Denver earlier today from Adam Schefter.
No, but Denver just signed somebody.
Just signed Frank Clark, though.
They killed their cap space.
So it's something to watch. Obviously, they're not going to trade for him, but
then again, they could loosen up some money from Russell Wilson if they wanted to, or something. They could restructure something on that somewhere, a bigger contract that's on the team if they need to free up money for Dalvin. So that's neither here nor there, too. You could fix those kind of issues. You know what I'm talking about.
They can figure out. They can knock around a couple million here and there to clear some space out for him.
Yeah, and apparently the people that bought that team, they've got a couple of bucks. Just a couple.
But here's the thing.
They own a little chain called Walmart or something like that. So they got a couple dollars.
Does he want to win or does he want to get paid? Because he's in that sweet spot for a running back, right? So I'm going to estimate right now. He's about 26, 27 years old. He's in that sweet spot for a running back where you got a couple prime years left. Wring as much money as you possibly can out of your prime. I'm not going to blame him. I'm not mad at it. I wouldn't be upset, shocked, critical if he took the biggest bag possible. Because
I love your thinking on that, because that position is a position that is not precious in the NFL. It's not valued anymore. And so your window is much smaller than it is for a lot of other positions in the NFL. So if that's the case, I think you couldn't be more right. Take as much money if you're a running back as much as you can, because it's a really short window in your
short. You got a short shelf life there.
Yeah.
For his sake, I hope he takes the money and runs. Literally takes the money and runs.
Yeah, because I know. I know Chris Greer. All I have to do is watch his history, and that dude wants low hanging fruit, and he's not going to pay. And especially for running backs, I think it probably pained him when he had to take A-Chain in the third round, like that high in the draft. I think it pained him. It's just he didn't have any other picks, and he had to take care of his coach, and his coach wanted that guy badly, so he brought him along.
I don't know if it was any more painful than having to sit next to Mike if he didn't get Devon A-Chain.
Right.
There. So I think he chose that was evil, he chose the lesser of two evils there. But I think that Miami's excitement over the backs they have right now is genuine. I don't think they're BSing us. Mike got long history with Raheem, long history with Jeff, was enamored by A-Chain in the draft process. So I don't think that this is a situation where I know it's not a situation where it's going to be some sort of arms race, some sort of spending spree to get Dalvin here. If the price is right, don't think twice.
Right. By the way, for the record, they're using A-Chain a lot in camp. They're giving me a little run there. So
it would be kind of a shame. It'd be kind of a shame to scale his rollback for essentially a luxury guy. And again, every time we talk about this, I get people in my mentions and my DMs and this and that. Are you crazy? It's Dalvin Cook. It's Dalvin Cook. I know you didn't just say that. I'm not being disparaging about Dalvin Cook. I am saying this is a luxury item. He is a luxury item right now. He's a luxury player. They don't need him. Getting a player like that obviously makes you better, but I don't know if they're on the cusp of a Super Bowl right now. I don't think adding Dalvin Cook, I don't think I say oh wow, that takes them from wild card team to Super Bowl favorite. It's not if this was last offseason, then yeah, I think I would say do the trade, pay whatever you want. But I don't think it makes that big of a difference right now, because this is one of those, the sum is greater than the parts type running backs room. That's what they're going for. That's what the system entails. And I think they are genuinely happy with what they have right now, which is why I don't think they're breaking the bank for Dalvin Cook. I
think it's also
type money.
And I also think it creates a problem inside the running back room all of a sudden, because those two guys came back, Mostert and Wilson, thinking they're going to do a lot of what they did last year. And then you add A-Chain, and obviously they love A-Chain. And I try to tell Dolphins that kid's going to get 5 to 10 carries in a game, and that kid's going to get a couple catches also in a game. They will use him. He's going to get somewhere in the 7 to 10 touches range, whether you like it or not. And all you have to do is go out there and watch him, and he's built well. By the way, he's already got a body that can, fill in the NFL. And at the same time, bro, the ability is there to run, to catch, all kinds of stuff. I just think that they have a vision of using all those backs. And if you bring in Dalvin Cook, then it really changes everything that you do. And it kind of creates some problems in your room right now, something you don't have.
Yeah. I think they've got a good thing going right now. There is such a thing as too much of a good thing. And I don't know. You kind of got to rework what you're doing. Somebody's got to change drastically, right? Either the Dolphins have to change what they're doing, or Dalvin Cook has to change his mindset of what type of running back he is, because he's not coming here to be a workhorse. And it's not even an indictment against him or the guys that are already in the running back room. It's that's just not what this system is. This system's not going to have a guy running the ball 25 times a game he's used to. So somebody is going to have to compromise somewhere if this marriage is going to work. The marriage between Dalvin Cook and the Dolphins is going to work. But if he wants an exciting offense that's got a chance to win, I mean, it's why not come home? Like I said, it's a no-brainer at the right price.
Right.
Chase Edmonds' money, I think, is I said it again and again. Chase Edmonds type money, that's the right price right now.
Yeah, it's like 3-4 million, and then incentives can get to 6. Is that what it was? Right?
Incentivize it to boost it up a little bit. You know,
Right.
We'll see.
And that's what I've said from the get-go. If he wants to take a $3.5-4 million deal, then yeah, they'll be willing to give that to you here. But they've got a lot of guys that they have to re-sign. You got a holdout center right now. Sealer needs to get a contract. Christian Wilkins, who's holding court and entertaining all of us during the practice in many different ways. That dude needs to get re-signed. There's a lot, and then in the next year, you got even more. Coming up with Waddle and Phillips and Holland and Tua, and I mean, it is
and Rob,
dude,
Rob Hunt.
Crazy shit what's coming up.
The window right now, like it will never be more open than it will these next 2 years.
Yeah,
it will never be more open. And hear me out. It's not because players won't get better, or it's not because this team is not going to get better per se. It's because cuts are going to have to be made because financial decisions are going to come into play. Yeah. All those guys that you just named, that's the blessing and the curse of drafting well. If drafting, developing is the re-signing.
Right.
You got to take care of your guys. So, and especially when the Tua money kicks in,
right.
It's gonna be tough. So attack the window. That's why I say, that's why I say Dalvin Cook right now, it's a no-brainer as long as you're not paying anything ridiculous, because you do need to keep money open for, veteran replacements and injury replacements mid-season. Like you got to pay a little attention to the cap. But it is a no-brainer. Everybody's window is closing. Like Rosando said, every window eventually closes. You got to attack it while it's open. Yep. But I'm not saying don't get Dalvin Cook. I am saying you're not paying Dalvin Cook $8 to $10 million a year.
That's what I've been saying from the get-go. They're not going to pay him big money, and they're not going to trade for him. They'll sign him for cheap, but they're not going to do that. They're not bending over backwards for it. All right, what do you got going on ESPN so folks can check you out, my friend?
Whipping something quick up on Christian Wilkins, on how this team sees him, where his contract is, what we know about it. And then, man, I am chilling. We got a month and a half, give or take, off. You're going to see a little bit less from me, maybe once a week, once every couple of weeks. But I think that it's an important time of year for everybody to just kind of, in this industry, for everybody to kind of regather themselves, breathe, get back into a routine, make sure that you are ready for the grind. Because as soon as that end of July hits, July 25th, 26 hits, it is on go for the next 7 months, man. It is go for the next 7 months. So I'm going to take it easy here. Got a couple of long features I'm working on it as well, during the break that I will share with you guys whenever they're ready. But until then, man, blessed to be able to do this job.
I hear you, my man. Follow him on Twitter at Marcel_LJ and catch him doing his thing here twice a week with our Welt and Rayom Miami Dolphins report. Marcel,
Rosendo, my bad, bro. I don't know how I pronounced your name, but Rosendo.
Yeah, you did good. Rosendo, yeah. You did good. Have a great weekend. Stay dry, my friend. We'll catch up next week.
Y'all do the same.
You got it, baby. Be good. There you go. Marcel Louis-Jacques getting it done. Welt and Rayom, those are the guys you want to call. You love them. I love them. What they did with us and crushing Progressive Insurance, folks, that was just absolutely beautiful. All right. So if you're dealing with bankruptcy, homeowner property damage, condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury, call my guys, Jeff and Dan. And listen, we got water going on right now, storms coming in. And again, if unfortunately you have some water damage, do not call the insurance company. Call my guy, Welton Rayom. Those guys will send their adjusters, and then they have all the information. Then they'll call the insurance for you. You won't even have to do anything. That's it. You just go meet with Welton Rayom, call Dan or Jeff, call him on the phone, ask for Jeff Welt, and you can even have the conversation, free consultation on the phone. And he'll tell you if you got a case and how to move forward and take advantage of it and protect yourself, because these insurance companies are not looking out for you. They only look out to get your premium. But then when it comes to actually taking care of you, they fall short a lot of times, like Progressive was trying to do with us. So make sure you reach out to them. Call them. I'm telling you, 954-966-4646 for Welt and Rayom.
This has been another session of the Welton Rayom Miami Dolphins Report with Marcel Louis-Jacques. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle, slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help.
You know, I tell you guys all the time about Cutter's Edge Pro, man, and what they did with our backyard and made it a pure oasis. That's our Sylvester tree right there on a beautiful day, providing a ton of sunshine. We've got one exactly like this out in the front yard, and it is absolutely gorgeous. There's Bono hanging around on the artificial turf. What's up, Bono? What's the word, baby? There you go, wagging that little tail. Maiden, there she is. Ziggy. How you doing, Ziggy? There you go. So we got the doggies hanging out. So just want to give you a little, we got some of the trees starting off from this way with the artificial turf. You see, there's Ziggy again, of course. Got it all the way. And look, we got some flowers coming out. That tree now will start to also spring, and it's absolutely beautiful too. So got all that, they can do all kinds of things for you in your backyard to kind of make it an oasis, which is what we've done. And obviously the dogs can play. What's up, Bono? I got him there hanging out. Maiden, there she is. There she is, the one and only. She is mean as a skunk, by the way. Just want you to know. She's awesome with us, but I mean, if you're a stranger, you don't want to meet mated. So as you can see, and then the artificial turf, remember, there's no watering. There's no cutting the grass. It looks fabulous like this the entire time. You know what I'm saying? It's beautiful. Back here in this corner is where we put the barbecue. I wheel it out, cook, then I wheel it back in. See, looks beautiful, doesn't it? Flowers are coming out. It's awesome. And then when I want to play a little golf, there's my putting green down the side, which is a beautiful thing. There's one of the holes all the way to the other side where Bono is at. All lights up. It's really beautiful when it lights up. See, we got the rough. Got several. Got one on that side. Got one over there in the corner. When Bono's leaving, got rough all over the place, man. Just in case, you get the ball trapped in there. That's it. That's another swing. Right, Maiden? So, check it out, cuttersedgepro.com. Make your home an oasis. Make your business, your HOA complex, condominium, you name it, they got you, bro. They do it all. All right? They can cut your trees down. And the artificial turf, I swear by it. Really easy to maintain, and it looks just absolutely freaking beautiful. Cutter's Edge Pro. Right, Ziggy?
Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All right. Welcome back, folks. We are coming to you live from beautiful HialeahPark. Yes, sir. Don't forget, man, out here on weekends, they've got music going on, DJs. You can bring that special someone, dance the night away, have some great food, and, of course, all of the gaming action. You can wager on tracks all over the country. We've got the Champions Simulcast Center, so when any of the big races are coming in, you can actually go over there and wager on all those tracks. And hopefully, man, sports wagering gets back. Can't wait to get that back, man. That'll be awesome. Boxing events, giveaways, all kinds of stuff always going on here at HialeahPark. Loosest slots in all of the state here at HialeahPark. And that, of course, is on the website. It is documented. It is the law. So they're all measured all across the state. And here at HialeahPark, they are the loosest slots. So for those of you out there that love your slots, man, they've got like over 800. I don't know how much it is, but it's well over 800 machines. Crazy stuff out here at HialeahPark. So check it out, HialeahPark.com. D. Taylor says, if I was Dalvin, I would want to come for a decent price. With the wide receivers Miami has, who wouldn't want this? This type of wide receivers don't come around. Last time was the Marks brothers, as we know how that went. Yeah, that's true. That is true. There's a viral video going around now of Chris Sims, and I'm only going to talk about this because of Eric Carmona. Okay. And I wanted to get more into Eric tomorrow on the show because it's kind of a moment. I want to start breaking down here, talking about this whole situation because it's with Eric, it is so depressing that a young man like that would lose his life. And he's got with 3 kids, I believe, right? It's 4 kids, Jesus Christ, and a wife. And obviously people have responded with donations left and right. Tua Tagovailoa, Tyreek Hill, several players actually donated to the cause. And you can too, by the way. I have the link on my Twitter page. Links all over the place, but I have it on my Twitter feed there. If you want to donate to Eric's family, which obviously they are in desperate need. And Chris Sims is a guy. I tell you guys this all the time. When you're sending me stuff about Skip Baseless or the turd or this clown Chris Sims, the first thing I say to all of you is, why are you listening to this? Why are you paying attention to this? Why do you listen to these people that all they want to do is do things to ignite? They're not doing things to talk. Look, man, sports talk has gone in like 3 different ways. There's traditional sports talk, which is what we do, right? There's the off the beaten path that it's not really sports. You're kind of screwing around and all that. And people love that too, right? And then there's the trolls, the guys that are looking for shock. Those are the people that we talk about, right? Because it's what can I say to shock people and get them angered and get them riled up, whether it's accurate or inaccurate. They don't care because it's not about that. You know what I'm saying? So Chris Sims is being taken to the woodshed by Dolphin fans because of this video clip with him and Mike Florio. Go ahead, fire away.
That they don't like, they wouldn't be here. They're here because they love it, and I think they love to get stirred up sometimes. So consider being trolled as a good thing. Being trolled is better than being ignored in this space that we occupy. Does that help you at all?
I guess. This is a deep subject, and I think it's societal, and I won't go into it because I'm only going to get myself.
It's not that deep. It's not that deep.
I
It's not
mean,
that deep. Sports fans love their teams.
I get it.
And sports
I know.
fans are
We're
always
also setting.
unreasonable. I
We're
remember
also
when-
setting an example of like, hey, here's money to a guy who's was very negative too. That's all I'm saying.
No. Stop. What I'm saying is, I would be that guy. I would be that they don't like.
So, the guy wasn't negative. He was just defending what he believed was right in Tua. And, you're a schmuck. You know what I'm saying? And this isn't deep, Chris. It's that you're dense, my brother. You're not very bright. And that's kind of the problem with all of that. So that's really, it's not deep. It's that you're dense. That's really the issue here. And so when, the bulb isn't very bright, the oars don't drop in the water, the elevator doesn't go to the top floor, what are you going to do? You know what I'm saying? So you say a lot of stupid shit, my man. And that's probably, again, because you're not very smart. I think I saw those videos of you trying to learn how to say quarterback plays and remember them. Your memory wasn't very sharp either at the same time. It's all right, man. You've had daddy to help you out throughout your career. It's a good thing. You know what I mean? It's always good to be helped out, my man. But nobody was being mean, The same way you could say that about Eric, we could all say that about you. But Eric was defending something he believed in, the Dolphins and Tua. And by the way, so do I. So I guess I'm mean too. Only difference is I don't have a problem with it. I don't care. So, I could go after you myself, which I do, Every time somebody passes on, like they did now, something stupid that you constantly say. And where you have Tua rank shows your lack of knowledge of a game that you played. So, Tua Nation, go after his ass, crush him if you want. But the best thing to do, you heard Florio, right? Being trolled is good. Well, then how about just avoid? That's even better. Yeah, well, whatever.
Yeah, and they sent it straight to NBC. Somebody was like, if you want to send it to NBC Sports.
Send it to NBC. It's not going to do anything whatsoever. You're helping him, actually.
That's what
I've been in the business, okay? You send all those complaints, you help the host. You don't hurt them. That's what they want. So that's the part that you guys don't. I keep telling you, don't watch, don't listen. That makes the bigger impact. But hey, what do I know? I've only been in the business 30-something years. What can I tell you? All right, let's rock and roll. Let's have a little fun here. Big O, how does the artificial turf hold up when there's a lot of rain? We've had tons of rain, and it drains quickly. Okay? They do it right. That's part of the thing, too. Make sure that, Cutter's Edge is going to do it right. You go and they somewhere else that does it cheap and, they don't do it right and it's going to look terrible. But that thing, we're approaching a year and it looks phenomenal. And we've had tons of rain over the last 9-10 months, I think, that it's been out there. And it drains quickly. It's awesome. That's what I love about it because I can take the dogs out within minutes after it rains because it drains and then that's it. They're not and they don't bring in any dirt or anything. That's what I love about it. It's awesome. It is absolutely awesome. You know who's also awesome? Steve Calabro, baby. General manager here at HialeahPark. Yeah. Are you giving away umbrellas today? Wait a minute. Hold on. There we go.
Umbrellas today? No.
Yeah, I don't know. It might rain.
That's been the case for about 4 months now. I drive in the rain all the time, to and from, mostly going home. Seems like mostly going home. The turnpike is just wet. Yeah. Been wet for about 4 months. Is the rainy season over? I mean, this rainy season, the Floridians always tell me, it's the rainy season. It seems like it's the rainy season for a long time.
Till like July. And then August is when it really dries up. And then
the golf courses turn brown. And now they're beautiful.
Right.
Between chemicals and water, it's beautiful.
Yeah, exactly.
They look great. They look great.
They're
Hey,
phenomenal.
I got something for you. I come here for knowledge.
What about behind us? How about
I should have started.
Nice job with that. There
Wow,
we go.
does that look nice?
Huh?
Look at that. HialeahPark partnering with Big O. I mean, it's just like this is a partnership.
It's beautiful.
This is a beautiful partnership.
Beautiful thing.
It's like Miami interplay going with Messi.
There you go.
There you
That's
go.
it.
It's
You're Messi.
I'm not Messi. You're Messi.
You're Messi, not me.
I'm not Messi. Messi, he turned down $400 million.
Yeah.
Like
he's going to make more on this side because
he's got Apple
he
TV.
He gets a percentage of Apple
and
put it this way, their Twitter page got like 2 million followers overnight. Their Instagram page picked up
It's
like
beautiful.
a couple of million.
Yeah, that okay. Now
the tickets are going through the roof now.
On the June 12th game.
Yeah.
You can get a ticket for $40 to $55.
Right.
July game, there's a July game. The game they think he'll play, starting at $495.
I know.
Now, I have a little you kind of jumped ahead on me on this one. But I'm glad you did. As you brought it up, I didn't bring it up. I was gonna bring it up. It's getting out of hand. I like Messi coming here. That's great. It's fantastic. Oh my God.
Did you try to go see Bruce Springsteen?
Okay, entertainment is also bad. It's so funny you said that. I was talking to some people before I came over, and they were like, "Oh, well, entertainment's expensive too." Sebastian Maniscalco, I love him.
Love him.
He's fantastic.
He's
right?
awesome.
I haven't seen the movie yet. I have to go.
I haven't seen the movie, but I see his stand-ups are freaking awesome.
So Sebastian, basically, I went last night. It was like $225 a ticket, and I was not really close. You know, I was like, I think there's he looks a little smaller. Well, you're in the nosebleed, Steve. Of course, he looks smaller, but. I mean, okay, but let's stay with sports. Sports is out of control. Last year,
so are the salaries.
I know something has to be done. We have to.
You just said he turned down $400 million.
No,
where's that money going to come from?
It's out of control. Last year, I went to the Jets game against the Dolphins in New York. Number one, big market, right?
Yeah, full of fire.
I got tickets on StubHub or something. My son did it for me. My stepson did it for me, and we got, it cost about $1,000. It was like $900 worth of tickets and $100 worth of fees, which is another argument.
Yeah, the fees.
Can we somebody just stand up for the regular fan? But anyway,
by the way, The Cure did that. I'm going to go see The Cure in Atlanta this month at the end. I'm going to go for 2 days. And Robert Smith threatened to pull the tour off of Ticketmaster if they didn't lower the fees.
Good.
And they gave all of us like a $30 break in each ticket.
I think I'm gonna go.
So when they come here in Miami, I saved myself $100, just me, my wife, and my daughter.
You know what? That makes me feel good. I'm gonna download his music. I'm gonna buy his music because he's doing
Cure is awesome.
The Cure, that's he's doing the right thing. Now, I just give you my experience. Last year, $1,000 to go see it. This year, we're thinking about going to see the Dolphins versus the Eagles. My son lives in Philadelphia. Why not go, right? I'm looking for the tickets. It's going to cost like $1,700 for 4 tickets.
Why don't you just stay in Miami and just get them cheaper? Have your son fly down.
Because
I know he's an Eagles fan.
No, it's the Eagles are playing the Dolphins. It happens once every 8 years in Philadelphia. You go there, you eat cheesesteak. You have soft pretzels. Yeah, have you done it?
Well, do all of that except watch it at a bar.
No.
And save yourself a crap ton of money.
First of all, you're not going to get a good cheesesteak in South Florida, okay?
No, I'm saying in Philly. Eat the cheesesteak, everything.
Oh, fly to Philly, eat the cheesesteak.
And then just go to a house or a bar and watch the game and screw it.
It's so funny you say that. That's my point. It's almost getting to the point. Just buy yourself. Everybody should buy an 85-inch TV or a 65-inch TV, whatever you can afford, and just not go to the games because it's out of control.
I do that all the time.
It's out of control. I mean,
it's actually better to watch it on television,
and you get more information. I tell you,
see the whole game. You have your own bathroom.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of positives to it. It's kind of overrated going to games.
You can go back 10 minutes if you missed something. It's kind of nice. I went to BJ's. The whole Costco BJ's. That I bought a TV. It's nice. It's 85-inch Sony. 85-inch Sony.
I would never leave home.
It was like it was $14.99. I mean, that's a lot of money,
right?
But you want to know something? I'm going to go to one game potentially in Philadelphia for more.
Yeah.
So maybe I could buy a TV every week. So it's getting out of control.
I know.
And
I don't blame people. doesn't make you less of a. I tell this all the time. We've talked about this all the time. You know, sometimes we have this. Some of us as sports fans, we have this attitude because we're season ticket holders. We're better fans than the guy that doesn't go to the games. No, dude,
No
you
way.
just can afford it more than the other guy. But the other guy wants to watch it at home or wants to watch it at a bar. You're all the same fan. There's no difference. You know what I mean? It's just economically, some of us can afford it and others can't. But bottom line, nowadays, the experience at home to watch a game is the best it's ever been.
I get that.
You know what I'm saying?
But isn't it? But don't you remember? Don't you remember? Like at least I remember. Like my uncle took me to my first NFL game. Like he took me to my first baseball game, and there was his son and my son and him and his wife, and we went there, and I can remember it like it was yesterday, and it probably cost him like maybe $10-15 a ticket. That same experience in Miami, which is a really bad baseball team. Okay, the Marlins are not really that good, right?
Actually, they're the number one wild card team.
Well, okay, all right.
They're 7 games over 500, bro.
Okay.
They're half a game behind the Dodgers.
Okay, but they're not.
Oh, I'm sorry. They're number 2 behind the Dodgers.
I'll give you a note on that.
The $300 million payroll Dodgers, by the way.
But my point is that $50 experience now costs about $750 because the hot dog is $18.
$1 in 1911 was $1.
No. I'm talking 1970.
Listen to me. $1 in 1911 was $1. That same dollar now is $6.64.
And that means the tickets for the Marlins going up more than that.
Yeah. So
from 1911,
what you bought in 1911 for $1 cost you $6.64.
Yeah, but I'm buying tickets in 1975, not 1911.
But it shows you how much inflation has gone up and how less the dollar buys. That's why I keep telling you Bitcoin. Because that one goes up, the dollar goes down. You buy less with Bitcoin. I mean, with the dollar, with Bitcoin, you buy more eggs. A lot more eggs.
Well,
anyways,
I'm gonna add to your Bitcoin thing. So I have had the fortunateness to go. My wife and I, we go to Europe, and we went to Europe, and what happened was we went about 8 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And when the American dollar was worth $1.40. So $1.40. It's like, like if you took out an American dollar bill, it's like, oh yeah, I'll take the dollar bill. I'll take a American $5 bill versus a Euro 5. This is 9 years ago. We went 3 weeks ago. We went on a cruise. We went. My wife speaks Italian. We went to Naples and Sorrento. My mother's from Sorrento and blah blah blah. We went to Croatia, very cool country.
I've heard good shit about Croatia.
Montenegro was cooler than Croatia, but Croatia's cool. But so really cool. The dollar, 81 cents.
I know.
Used to be $1.40. Now it's 81 cents.
I know.
Like you take out a $5 American bill. Like, no, do you have any euro? We don't really want them. That's a sin.
I know that, dude. I'm trying to explain to people what the hell is going on to us.
I'm going to connect the dots. We won't go anywhere
political.
No,
I know.
The last year and a half or 2 years been pretty ugly.
I know.
Economically, it's a sin. It's a sin. Anyhow, that being said, this week, this Saturday, your viewers can come here, or anybody tell people to come out, and when they see this broadcast. The Belmont Stakes.
Baby. Champion
simulcast. And I've got a guy. You know how I have the Jersey guy for football?
Okay.
He's pretty good. I mean,
he does a pretty good job.
He's got some pretty good. Now, my horse racing guy is better.
Wow.
He's better. He's so better. This guy, now I text him and I haven't got the answer yet. He may come back. Oh, here we go. Okay. Here's what I texted him. So here's what I said. Who's your pick for the Belmont Stakes? Uh-oh. Oh, no, he won't tell me now. He's playing hard. See, I shouldn't even started this mess. He'll tell me a little later, but if I get it, I'll make sure that throughout this broadcast we produce it. But it's a great experience here at Champions, and believe me, it's going to be a nice experience. It's going to be affordable. A lot of the places in Broward County that show the track, show the race, very expensive. Ours is affordable. You can come here, you can buy a carol, the personalized carol for an affordable price. It's $5 or $10, something cheap. Our competitors are double that price.
Right.
So, and it's nicer here. It's actually nicer. TV screens all over
Nobody's
the place.
smoking in your face either.
Nobody's
by the way.
smoking in your face. And I just want everybody to know that this is the weekend. Now, it's unfortunate.
And by the way, they've got the loosest slots also in the state, like I tell you all the time. So while you're out here, you can eat some great food. You can play the slots. You can come up to the poker room. You can wager on any of the tracks in the country. And of course, with the Belmont Stakes, you can take advantage of that. So there's like a lot of things to do while you're out here at Hialeah Park. Even walk outside the beautiful architecture and the
beautiful. I mean, this is a nice little
and the landscaping and everything.
We're like a best kept secret for a lot of people. Now, a lot of people have discovered us. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But I'm talking to those guys and girls that are in Broward or maybe down in.
And
Monroe.
by the way, some of us older folks that maybe you came years ago, decades ago, and you haven't been back, and you should try it. You should give it a little shot. Come on out here. And I always tell you to walk around, check out the history of this place, which is just absolutely phenomenal, man.
And the poker action is unbelievable. Our poker is a little bit on fire the last couple of months.
Yeah.
And you know what it is?
And convenient. And by the way, they bring drinks right up to you. They got these little
food
tables
right up to you.
Right up to you. So if you want to have a sandwich or something and eat while you're there playing cards, you can do all of that, man. It's really convenient the way they do things. And games are being played on televisions all out. So if there are games being played, they'll put them up there and show you whatever's going on.
I'm looking right now, right? This table here has got a baseball game on, a football game on. I don't know what football game. It's the Niners.
It's
a
probably
playoff game from a year ago.
Yeah,
I guess.
it's the NFL. It's the NFL show, and they're showing a highlight. That's what that is. That's what that is.
But that's
hey. By the way, have we heard anything on sports gambling?
Zero.
Wow.
Zero. And it's bothering me. It's almost like the state government has lost interest. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, whatever, because they have to find. What has to happen is, the state government has lost interest, but really what has to happen is the court has to rule on the Seminole lawsuit. The Seminoles are the hub of the sports betting, and it's so bad right now.
It's ridiculous.
So two pari-mutuels, actually really one pari-mutuel, sued the Seminoles. They no longer own that pari-mutuel,
right? And
they're still suing. It's almost like, rich kids suing rich kids because so you can't have the toy.
Right.
If
I can't have it, you can't have it.
If I can't have it, you can't have it, or at least I'm going to make you have it a year later, not this year, not this year's birthday, next year's birthday.
By the way, Chad is telling us now that the conversion is 93 cents now.
Okay, it's up 10 cents.
It went up a little bit.
But check in June.
Yeah, I know it'll go down, but no, I'm sure it'll go back down again.
Yeah, you know what though? 93 cents. That's the actual conversion.
Well, they just hit. Also, Europe just hit kind of an inflation thing now. They had that like recession is officially set in.
Yeah, it was. Although I could tell you, Rome was as crowded as I've ever seen it in my life. Been there 5 times, and my wife's been there 10. I've never seen it more crowded.
Wow.
It was packed. The Trevi Fountain, that's the place where you got
I know where it's at.
Blah, blah,
I've
blah,
been
right? So I remember 10 years ago, I had to wait for somebody to walk by to give them my phone to take a picture, right? This time, I just said,
all around,
I gotta
all
get
loaded.
out of here.
Yeah.
I gotta get out. It's too crowded.
It's super crowded.
Yeah,
I know.
It seemed like it was like I was going to get, I could easily have pickpocketed anybody I wanted to.
Yeah.
All the tourists are all walking with their heads, up in the air, right?
Right.
And it was, and so I said, I don't want to get pickpocketed, so let me get the hell out of here. But it was really, really crowded. So, but it was nice. And Sorrento is where my mother's from.
Mm-hmm.
My mother's maiden name was Cafiero, as they say in Sorrento. And there's a baker and gelato place in Sorrento that is the baker for like the last 6 popes.
Wow.
He bakes the cake. He has his special like Pope cake or something. I don't know. They got a Pope mobile. They got a Pope cake.
For sure. Why not?
My great-grandfather's name was Antonio Cafiero. So every time I go there, I ask like, hey, is Antonio around? He owns the bakery.
Okay.
But, I think he's avoiding me because he probably thinks like his guy from America is coming to try to get some money from me or something.
Yeah.
I don't want any money. I just want to meet the guy. Might be related.
He wants a loan or something.
Yeah, this guy trying to
No, you're not going to meet the Pope.
But I did have his cake. I did have his. Oh, he has a picture with Antonio Cafiero and what's the famous Italian movie star? She's gorgeous.
Bellini, Monica.
No, the older one.
Is she Italian or is she?
Anyhow, there's pictures. He's the movie star baker. He's the Pope baker, and I think he's a distant relative, but he's avoiding me.
Bellucci, Monica Bellucci. No,
no, it was Sophia.
Loren.
Sophia Loren.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Sophia Loren.
Yeah.
Sophia Loren.
So you went a little deeper. Okay.
Yeah, he's a little older. Come on, I'm older.
Okay.
I'm a little older. But I just wanted this, to share them. And I can only stay a couple minutes, but I can tell you, I was talking to some of my friends, and I hate to bring it up again, but they said Big O knew Gordy Lockbaum. This guy knows his sports. This guy knows his sports.
You should have been more impressed that I knew Gordy Lockbaum was in the same voting with Vinny Testaverde. That's what you should have been impressed with. That I remembered Gordy Lockbaum in the same voting year with Vinny Testaverde. That was the impressive part.
You know what? Afterwards, I was talking to my friend who was from the same town that Gordy's from, and he said that Gordy was a finalist 2 times.
Yeah, right. That's what we read. That's what we read. The first time was the one of the Vinny Testaverde year, and then the second time he climbed up. It was 5 and 3rd, right?
Yeah, second. 5 and third.
He was 5th place with Vinny, and then 3rd on the other one, which I forgot who it was that won. And then
front page,
Emmett Smith.
Front page of the Sports Illustrated, and they had Gordy Lockbaum on the front page, spread.
Yeah,
and he
was a hell of a player.
The whole school. They put an old school helmet on him because he was an old school guy. Because he was
the leather helmet,
2-way starter.
Right.
Defense. He was actually, he was All-American because of defensive back.
Right.
He was a great running back, but he was running back and defensive back. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, definitely.
But they were all impressed.
I remember the guy.
Now, you've won their hearts over in New Jersey. Like Big O is the man. He knows his sports. And you even know the answer to the trivia question. Who was Gordy Lockbaum's summer camp counselor in 1977? That one is a big one.
That's where it all started.
Yeah, that's where it all started.
Without that summer school, he'd be a schmuck.
If he didn't have that summer camp
experience,
he wouldn't have got into sports.
Nothing.
We wouldn't even be talking about
nothing. No Heisman hype. Nothing. Forget it.
That's the story we're sticking to.
It would have been, instead of Holy Cross, it would have been, holy shit, what happened to you?
What happened?
That's all.
Heisman finalists.
All right, so Belmont Stakes, come out here to HialeahPark and wager your guts out and have some fun out here at HialeahPark. When are we giving away another car?
We're going to the million. We're going to the million. The cars.
Sorry about that.
We're going to the $1 million. Yeah,
screw cars. Let's go to $1 million.
We're giving and look. I think you've done a fantastic job. We're going to have to somehow integrate this background.
This only cost us $999,000, actually.
No, but maybe we could put it behind the million or next to the million, and then put your table. I want your table in front of the $1 million display.
I want that too. I want that too. I'm bringing Eric Spoelstra with me since he's really David Copperfield because he makes everything look better than it is. So I'm going to have him. And so I'm going to have him come over, and then he's going to make that stack of money look like a stack of money, but the stack of money will be with me instead. So,
I can tell you $1 million looks pretty good no matter how you stack it.
No matter how you stack it.
It's pretty good. It's a pretty good
But it'd be stacked better in my pockets.
It would be. You have a chance. You have a chance to win it just like all your viewers do. And they can tell.
I got it. Can I carry $1 million?
I don't think you can fit $1 million. No, because it's not all big denominations. We're going every denomination.
Well, kind of. You're gonna need two.
You're gonna need his backpack too.
It's like that game. You give me a certain amount of time to fill the bag, and
whatever you get, you get.
Whatever you get, you get. And I'm good with that too, by the way.
Maybe at the end of the promo, we have to empty it. Maybe we can do something. Yeah.
Empty it into my bank account. That's what we'll do. See
$1 million, win $1 million. Starts August 1st. It's going to be a hot one.
All right, Steve.
Take care, boss.
You, brother.
Have a good one.
Steve Calabro, baby. Always getting
lower
it done.
The price of tickets.
Yes. Yeah. God. And concerts. That's what I need big time. Thank you, Steve. Appreciate you immensely. All right, folks. We got Panthers tonight, 8 o'clock on TNT. They better win. Vegas is favored by 1.5 goals. Over and under is 6. Panthers are minus 120. Vegas plus 100. Radko Gudas is back too, by the way. So that's good too. Spo is worth $20 million according to reports. So, he's probably going to get a contract in that department. But because he's a magician, I'm going to have him create an illusion of $1 million while I then take the $1 million. See, that's what's going to happen. That's kind of because that's what Spo is. Spo is the David Copperfield of NBA coaches. You think your team is really, really good, but it's really not. It's just that he makes it look that good. And then you get fooled. That is Eric Spoelstra, the man. Let's see. Steve Calabro rocking the 80s stash. Let's see. If he takes off his shirt, he has the island patch of hair in the center of his chest. Is that true? The entire chest. It's a whole rug, like me. O's bags look like he's going camping in the woods after the show. Thought I'd saw a frying pan hanging off of it. Hey, bro, what do you want me to do? I'll be back tonight doing a Panthers show, and then I'm back in the morning going to Dolphins camp, and then I'm doing a show again in the afternoon. What do you want me to do, bro? I work a lot, and I'm kind of what's that called? Huh? No Dolphins camp. Thank God tomorrow. Holy crap! But I still have to wake up earlier for the show now tomorrow because tomorrow we have a morning show. And in Acura, right? We're at Acura tomorrow. So anyway,
By the way, no news, but Tyler Hero confirmed out for Game 4.
Yeah, and it's just, at this point it's really not important to play him because you're kind of put your team in a tough spot because then you got to start benching people for him, and it just doesn't make any sense. Wow, got through watching Messi highlights. He is the Barry Sanders of soccer, and they're both pretty much the same height. Well, that's how it is in soccer, actually. That's the most deceiving part. I've talked about this many times over the years. If you go look at soccer stars, Maradona, Pele, Messi, Iniesta, I could just go on and talk about all kinds of players, and they're short. They're 5'5", 5'6", 5'7", 5'8", 5'9". Brother, you start getting into the 5'10", 6-foot range, that's rare. Like, there aren't a ton of those. And so that's why I've always asked why we haven't excelled in soccer. It's the weirdest thing. America should be dominating in soccer. Do you know why I say that? Because our short athletes don't go play football, basketball, baseball, and hockey. Only a couple of those kind of guys slip through the cracks and are good enough. 5'9", 5'10", 5'7", 5'6", 5'5" guys barely play American sports at a high level, at a pro sports level. They're too short normally, And so you think about it. All our short athletes end up going into just becoming regular people like you and me. And yet they gave up on athletics because they weren't tall enough to play football, basketball, baseball, hockey, and they were told that you couldn't. But soccer is the kind of sport that you can dominate at any freaking height. That's the amazing part. And a lot of the average soccer fan does not even know that. They don't realize how short on average a lot of the stars are. And short enough that they probably would have never played American sports because very few of them would have had the skill set, even as short as they were, to do the things that they needed to do to play American sports. But in soccer, it's different, man. That's the weird thing. All our great short American athletes became like normal people. Very few of them actually translated to pro sports. It's a handful of them every 10 years that you can add in each sport. Very few guys. Just joined. Sorry if I missed it, but did you talk about Liam getting an orange jersey today? That sort of blew my mind. Why? Because he got to pick the music? Why would it blow your mind that he's picking the music? Oh, well, but it's mini camp that it's Liam Eichenberg. He can be a top performer doing all the right things. Remember, I've told you the story many times. Okay? Last year when I told them And when he got injured, I said, man, this guy hasn't improved. And, and they were like, you're wrong. He was turning the corner, we think, right before he got injured. So they like him, man. They like him. Yes.
Sorry, I was trying to get PFF has top 10 AFC edge defenders.
Okay.
Myles Garrett, number 1.
Okay.
TJ Watt, number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Max Crosby, number 3.
Okay.
Joey Bosa, 4.
Right.
Trey Henderson, 5.
Okay.
Von Miller, 6. Khalil Mack, 7. Jalen Phillips, 8.
Wow. And he hasn't even gotten there yet.
Yep. Josh Allen, 9. And Zadarius Smith, 10.
Wow. That's respect for Jalen Phillips.
No respect there. I saw it. I just thought,
that's
because you were talking about the other day where you see him.
And he hasn't even earned that yet.
Yeah. No,
I'm expecting a 10-plus sack.
I think they're going off of, with everything, seeing what's around them.
Yeah.
As you said, you think this is going to be the step.
Oh,
I think
God, last year a
lot of people are seeing that step.
Last year he was this close to a crap ton of sacks. His effort never stops. I just think that Phillips has really grown on me, man. Like, this is a kid that is just really I think he's about to become a star. Did I give up Chick-fil-A for breakfast? Well, I haven't had a Coke in over a week, and I have not had a Chick-fil-A biscuit in over a week too. About a week, I haven't had because I would order normally a Chick-fil-A and a Coke in the morning, and I have not ordered it all week. So I have not had the Chick-fil-A. I don't think I've had one Chick-fil-A biscuit in this last week. Yeah, I know I've lost weight. I don't know what it is because I haven't weighed myself, but I know I've lost weight. So let's but it's really not about that, to be quite honest, folks. I can lose weight. It's keeping it off is my problem. I've done this before where I get in my trip and I get focused and I start exercising and I start eating right and I do all the right things, but eventually I go back to all my terrible habits and drive-throughs and all that kind of stuff, and I screw it all up, and I've done it over and over and over again because I lack total discipline when it comes to food. God, I am terrible with that. So it's really not about losing the weight. It's nice that I've lost a couple pounds here in the first week. I can tell already by just seeing myself in the mirror, I can tell that I've already lost. But it's not about that. I can lose a couple pounds and I can eventually lose 10 and 20 and 30 and 40, 50 pounds. But it's a matter of when I get there, having the discipline of staying with it and, changing that lifestyle and maintaining it. That's my real problem, man. That's the real challenge. And so we'll see if maybe this time around I can lose the weight and keep it off. That's the real challenge. So Phillips has JT potential. I don't know. Listen, I'm not going to go and then some too. He can be a hell of a player. Jason Taylor is a freak, bro. I'm not going to, I can't do that to Jalen Phillips. I think he's going to be a heck of a player. I really like him. I think he's going to be a 10-plus sack guy this year. But Jason Taylor was as special as they come, dude. Hard to put that there. It was explained already. My apologies. I was wondering if your crypto show was coming. Yes, it is. My bad. I need to. I'm trying to finish up something studio wise with it, and then kind of get it going. But I am going to bring it back. I am. I promise you, very soon, and it'll be back more often. Miami, the sports mecca right now. Yes, it is.
Yesterday, you talked about ESPN being separated and put on an island.
Yeah. What happened?
Breaking news 21 minutes ago. Famed SportsCenter anchor Neil Everett leaving ESPN after 23 years, said bartender last call to Front Office Sports.
Okay.
So
started.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to get ugly for the people.
A lot of people are not going to be, probably, as contracts are coming up now. They're just
right. Yeah. That's probably what it is. We all plateau, bro. Get a beach cruiser. Okay. You can do it, Big O, just one day at a time. I hope so, Brett. I'm going to try. I'm going to bust my ass to do it and try to stay, pretty steady and especially keep the Coke out of my life because, bro, that drink is, that's usually the thing that is my number one killer. I don't necessarily eat terrible all day long, actually. I don't eat too bad. I'll snack on a couple things that I probably shouldn't. But overall, I'm not always eating really terrible. But drinking Coke throughout the day, that is just, that's suicide, basically. It's what it is. Just got to start day one and get yourself in the gym and make it a daily routine. Yeah. Yep. Definitely got to do that. Lord knows we need so much BS media out there. Thank you. That's very nice of you. Big O, how confident are you in the Cats tonight? I'll admit I'm not as confident. I didn't like what I saw in front of Bob the other night. I thought those guys got really outplayed badly. I'm hoping that tonight the home crowd and the atmosphere gives them a lift. I'll tell you this. They have to win tonight. Like there's no excuses. The season's over if they lose tonight because they're not going to win 4 in a row. So they have to win tonight. I'll be interested to see what kind of desperation they play with, and they need to play with a level of intelligence because they are committing the stupid penalties and giving those guys extra power plays, which they don't need. But I can't tell you my confidence is high right now on the Cats. McAfee just signed with ESPN. I know it was a big mistake for him to go. Oh God, yeah, his show got ruined by going there now. Unfortunately. I'm not trying to be skinny, Noel. I'm just trying to maybe live a little longer. That's all. What's my favorite guitar solo of all time? God. I'm the One from Eddie Van Halen. Okay. Oh, give it to me. Big O, the key is just getting that workout in. You can eat anything if you're working out. Just need to get to that weight that you want and keep the workouts. You're probably right, Chad. That is definitely the key right there. It's the discipline that I have to show to stay with it, which I never do, Chad. That's my problem. Sodas are liquid crack. Got to keep you around, Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. I recommend daily affirmations to help with food cravings. Our mind can sometimes be our worst enemy. I'm a sucker for Oreos. Okay. Coke is my thing. That drink is, brother, I am Pookie in New Jack City, and the pipe is calling me. That's how I am with Coca-Cola, bro. It's terrible. It really is. Nutty Professor line, don't be like Oprah. She was a fox. She loses all that weight. Her head look all big, skin and hanging all over. Has anyone ever tried Noom for weight loss? Has it worked? They use psychology to help with weight loss. Sounds interesting, but not sure if it works. I have no idea. EJ says the Coke alone is going to make a huge difference, not just a sugar reduction, but a reduction in appetite and cravings. I'm tapering off my beloved Diet Pepsi, Coke Zero, Live Strong. Yeah, it is terrible. And the sodium too is also really bad for you, So yeah, it sucks, dude. Sucks. It sucks to have addictions are rough, and it's rough on all of us. So, and all of us kind of deal with all kinds of different addictions. It's not just drugs, you know what I mean? There's all kinds of other addictions, and the most important part is that we have to be aware that we have them and be honest about them. You know what I'm saying? It's the worst is that if we're in denial about it and we refuse to acknowledge that we have a problem, and those are the kind of people that really will never get help and never help themselves, because we're all defective one way or another. I mean, very few of us are perfect. And so, and I'm definitely right at the top of that list. Anyway, what else do we have? Inter Miami taking on New England at 7:30 on Saturday. Oh, by the way, did you see that Inter Miami will be adding 2,500 to 3,000 seats? I told you for the last couple months that Messi was coming. I said they got to find a way to put more seats into that stadium, and looks like they are already getting the permits for it because obviously you got to get some kind of permits through the city for all that. So 2,500 to 3,000 seats. You know how much money? Let's just let's put 10 home games, okay, at 3,000 and 3,000 seats. And if it's just, how about if it's just $100? Is that 30,000 a game? Right? No. You're only counting those 3,000. So if it's $100, it's 30,000. So you're so and in 10 games, that's $300,000 that you just created right there. That's if it's only $100. I don't know what they're going to charge. 3,000 seats, right? And $100 each. It's 30,000, right? That's 300,000. Oh, bad math. I'm sorry. 300,000. Right. 300,000. So then 300,000 times 10. That's 3 million they just created with that little section. That pays for Busquets. No, maybe Busquets comes in as a. Does he come in as a DP? I don't know. I'm not smart enough on that.
No, so correct me if I'm wrong. Messi comes in. He's a DP, right?
Yes.
Who do they have?
Pizarro's the other DP. And
isn't Campana
and Martinez, right? No, Martinez is not.
Is MLS.
Campana,
right?
No, Campana's not a deep. You know, they have all these. I don't know all these rules.
Well, that's what I'm wondering.
He's like
if you start
young
throwing
DP
Busquets,
or some shit like that.
You start throwing Busquets and all these guys that want to come play. Where do they? How do they fall into?
I don't know.
The MLS. Does MLS just finally go? You know what? We're getting Messi. Whatever. Wild West.
Well, some people will say that the MLS will make the rules along the way.
Benito said it yesterday, kind of where Beckham started the whole DP thing, and now you're going to upset Messi by saying, "Look, you can't have all these guys because we have a 3 DP rule."
Right.
This has already got to been talked about, I'm sure, but it's going to be because if I'm the other teams too, I'm going, wait a minute, you're helping them. I get what Messi is to the MLS, but if you're the other team owners. You're sitting there like, wait, you just got them the best player, one of the best players in the world. You're giving them a slice of Apple. You're giving them a slice of the Adidas pay. You're giving, I think he already has Adidas anyways before the MLS anyways. I think he has a deal with Adidas already.
Right, yeah.
And now you're going to be like, okay, let's just bring in whoever you want to play with them.
The problem is with the rules of this league. I just don't know all the ins and outs, man. That's my problem with it. So
I was thinking about it yesterday. I'm like, man, how are they going to sit there and sell it to the other owners? We're going to get a bigger piece. It's going to bring more eyes to the MLS. Yeah, that's great, but we're going to just disband all rules because Messi's here.
I don't know.
It's like
I don't know.
Because then you got another team. San Diego joins next year, right?
Yes.
Or
yes.
I know they got the approval.
Diego,
Are they next year or is another? Okay.
No, it's next year. Next year, and Vegas is coming too.
Yeah.
So, missed the tropical lemonade from Walmart, but sadly they discontinued it. Was that your killer, Rosenda? I've got the NFL ticket for $279 with my YouTube TV package, so I wouldn't delay. Oh, I asked earlier. I'm a moron when it comes to NFL contracts, etc. Hypothetically, if Cook was coming here, Can you do anything with the contracts of players you just signed, i.e. Mostert and Wilson? No. I don't think you can redo those right away. I'm not sure. But those signing bonuses or anything weren't big with all of that. You know what I'm saying? What else do we have? I'm sure if you can stay off the Coca-Cola alone, it'll improve your health greatly. McDonald's fries are my kryptonite. Switch to MIOs and intermittent fast if you can. I am fasting a little bit, actually. I am eating only in a certain part of the day for a couple of hours. Brett Campbell, what does in the beginning mean? In the beginning, good always overpowered the evil of all man's sins. But in time, the nations grew weak, and our cities fell to slums, while our evil stood strong. In the dusts of hell lurk the blackest of hates, for he whom they feared awaits them. Now, many, many lifetimes later, lay destroyed, beaten down, only corpses of rebels, ashes of dreams, and blood-stained streets. Those who have the future, it has been written, have the future. So come now, children of the beast, be strong and shout at the devil. Is that what you were trying to get at, Brett? I'm sorry. Anyway. I dropped DirecTV and only have YouTube. Good for you. Big O, you should make an Apple Music or Spotify playlist with your favorite rock songs for us to learn about. Interesting. And I can share that with you guys? Oh, okay. All right. I can do something like that. All right. Let me see if I can do something like that over the weekend. You know, that would make a lot of sense. Okay. We can do that. How many people even understood what I just did? Most people are like, what the hell is he talking about? Like, most of you have no idea probably about Motley Crue and that song. But it's the first thing that comes to my mind when you say in the beginning. I just start going into that. You know, what do you want me to do? It's just, it's automatic. I can go to a cookout once that Sazon hits my nostrils. I gain 1.2 pounds instantly. My metabolism sucks. Oh, man. Big O, do you ever see Heavy Metal, the movie? Yeah, dude, I have it. I have the DVD. That's one of the great soundtracks of all time. It's kind of a trippy movie, funny, all kinds of stuff. Yeah, I love Heavy Metal, man. I love that song from Sammy Hagar. Sammy Hagar Heavy Metal song is underrated, dude. You know? So yeah, take a ride on Heavy Metal. Yeah, man. I love that. It's the only way that you can travel down that road. So the Suns plan to release Chris Paul. I only have one thing to beg, ask, plead, wish. One thing. I don't want him here in Miami. That's all. Pat, are you listening to me? Pat, I love you, brother. I'm always going to be your left tackle. I'm always going to have your back. Now, I'm going to treat you like everybody else. If you're not doing what I think is the job, I'm going to say, hey, Pat's dropped the ball here or there. Duncan Robinson, like Kyle Lowry. We could talk about some of these contracts that you've given out that are really bad contracts. Okay. But I also know you've had a love affair with Kyle Lowry like you have with Chris Paul. Okay. And remember we waited too long to have the Pacquiao Mayweather fight? We waited 6-7 years past the prime of that fight, correct? Remember that? Well, Pat Riley waited 6 or 7 years too late to trade for Kyle Lowry. Please don't do the same with Chris Paul. So Chris Paul's released and he's an outright free agent and you're able to move Kyle Lowry or whatever. Please don't reward us with the frustrations of watching Chris Paul in a Heat uniform, because all he's ever going to do is what he always does: break the hell down. I saw that story, and right away they say teams interested: Lakers, Celtics, and freaking Heat. And it was like this, like a punch in the gut, dude. It was like one of those things, like I almost felt, I think I felt like I almost threw up. All right. I don't want anything to do, nothing personal against Chris Paul. I'm sure he's a fantastic dude. He should probably go to the Hall of Fame when he's done and all that. But his last like 7, 8, 9 years, I've watched it. It's a broken record, just like his broken body. And I hate that they're going to release him, because I hate the fact that Riley has this love affair with this guy. And Riley has love affairs and he doesn't know how to let him go, And he was in love with Kyle Lowry. He's in love with Biggs. And so he wanted to make Whiteside what Whiteside could never be: a professional. And so he, the Bam thing, it's almost like he doesn't adjust to what's gone on in basketball and kind of fighting Spo a little bit on where we're at. And the world does not revolve around centers anymore. And so we've got to make sure we look at things the right way. And I love Riles, and I would never say to get rid of him. But I'm going to tell you when he makes a mistake. I have no problem with that. Okay? And this would be a monster mistake. So I just want to mention it ahead of time, because I don't want to see this shit happen, to be quite honest. Not that I'm going to control anything whatsoever that goes on in the Heat organization, because if they listened to me, they wouldn't have re-signed Johnson and Whiteside and Dion Waiters, and they wouldn't have given Duncan that contract, and they certainly wouldn't have given Whiteside that contract, or Kyle Lowry. You know what I'm saying? There are a bunch of these deals that I've been against from the get-go, before they happened. And this is another one of the moves that I'm against before it ever happens. I don't want to see Chris Paul ever in a Heat uniform. I think it would be another mistake made by the front office. So, what else do we have going on in the world of sports? Hey, how about Kendall Jenner? So apparently, it's, I guess we glorify being a skank. That's kind of the way things are nowadays, right? So Kendall Jenner, or was it no, I think it was Kim Kardashian wearing a Kendall Jenner starting 5 t-shirt. Sean is going to bring it up so you guys can check it out. But it is kind of funny to me that this is something that you would actually try to brag about, which to me, I don't know if a woman wants to brag about how many guys she bangs. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Hung? She bang, she bang, she bang. You brought that up. There it is. Kendall Jenner's starting 5. The family that when you throw, it's like the family that if you throw a hot dog, it's like throwing a hot dog down a hallway. That's what it's like going out with them. Yeah, that's something you should brag about. That's great for your kids, because these women are moms too. What a great example, ladies. When you grow up, bang as many athletes as you can. Yeah, that's how you want to bring up your kids. Those are the examples you want to set. because, they set some great examples in that family. Whew. I saw that this morning, and I couldn't believe it, that somebody would be wearing a shirt like that. Starting 5. Oh, God. 100% Big O. Lillard should have been the player and not Lowry. That was a player we needed in the backcourt with Jimmy. Yeah. Well, we listened to Jimmy. That was the problem there. Jimmy and Lowry are tight, and that's where they screwed up. Just threw up on my mouth on the mention of CP. I know, it's just loving all the recent South Florida success, but not looking great for the Heat and the Cats. Brett, remember, they're not supposed to be in the finals, bro. We got to look at it in big picture. Great year for them, bro. They're not really supposed to win the title. They're not even supposed to be in the title game. The fact that they're in the title game or series is awesome. Awesome. And remember, the Panthers have made now the playoffs 4 years in a row, Brett. And then the last 2 years, they've gone deeper and deeper. Well, last 3, because you made it the second year. The third year, you went to the second round. And now this year, you went to the Stanley Cup Finals. So you are getting better as a franchise. We can't lose sight of that, man. Zito wasn't around here for 20 years, so we can't blame him like, oh, well, finally he's having success. No, the guy just got here a couple of years ago, and he's, he made one massive turnaround this offseason. And getting Kachuk, my God, Brett, we haven't had anything like that. So we have to appreciate it too at the same time, just like the Heat. Come on, man. The Heat barely got into the playoffs. They were barely over 500. They were a 7-8 seed. You know what I'm saying? The fact that they're in the NBA Finals, I can't get mad. It's frustrating that they're down, but there's no part of me that I could be mad about the Heat or the Panthers or the season they've had or the finish that they've had or anything like that. They've had a great year no matter how it ends. That's the way I'm going to look at it. I'm not going to be mad about this. I'll be a little frustrated that they lose. Okay, yeah, I'll be frustrated, because that's normal for us to be frustrated. But mad at the team or overall or the progress or the direction or anything like that, I'm ecstatic about how things are going. Even with the Heat, you can make the right moves and add on top of what you have and maybe take it to the next level. So for me, I'm good with what's gone on so far. I know we're playing with house money right now if you're a Heat fan or a Panthers fan. Fans will forget that if it brings home a championship. Yes, they will. You are correct. The Johnson & Johnson contract, bumpy, and James, remember those contracts. Yes, they were terrible. Spo needs talent. Hopefully, after these finals, Riley and Mickey will do right by Spo during the offseason. Let's hope so. I bet Zito has a couple of more kicks up his sleeve. I bet we'll be back again. Well, he'll have more money this year. Actually, they get a little cap break here. Big O, I have a band for you to check out. It's a little different band. It's called The Wildlife. Write it down. What kind of music is a wildlife? Excuse me. Wildlife sounds kind of alternative. I don't know. You tell me. What kind of music is it? What else we have? I agree. This Wildlife, and it's like emo rock. Okay. All right. I'll check it out. What happened? What did I do? What about Tua's
You didn't
helmet?
talk about Tua's helmet today.
I don't know. It's just a helmet.
You put the big camera on there?
Oh, the camera in the front? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's all for the that's for the coaches and all that. Tua had a very interesting response about that yesterday.
Well, that was why I went. Omar sent out a conspiracy theory thing on it.
What'd he say?
He said, my theory is this is possibly Mike McDaniel trolling Tua for saying wearing a camera in the huddle is a violation of huddle privacy.
Well, no, that's what he thought of once he had the camera, and then he decided, should I do this? because then we're allowing the coach into the huddle.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's kind of where the guys are at. And it was interesting. It was a really interesting conversation that he brought up because he goes, I might not like the play he sends in. And so then he might hear me say, all right, guys, this is the play it's sent in, but hey, on this play, you're the first progression, but I'm going to skip you right away because of the coverages that are going on right now. You know, he's giving like an example, and I'm kind of paraphrasing. I'm not going to go to you. I'm going to go to you. You're going to be my second. You're going to be my first progression, even though normally you're my second progression. Be ready. You know, that kind of thing. And then the coach will hear that you're basically kind of changing the play a little bit or tweaking it a little bit, which, by the way, also shows you that Tua is very comfortable with the offense, knows the ins and outs of the offense, and understands the coverages also because he's thinking of different scenarios in his mind where he would counter whatever play was sent in too at the same time. And I thought it was very interesting that he didn't want to disturb the dynamic of the huddle because it's kind of like being in the locker room. Your coaches aren't in the locker room. That's kind of your domain. So when us idiots, the media, are not in the locker room and coaches are upstairs doing their thing, players have that locker room to themselves. So they're used to privacy and being able to talk to each other and share whatever they want to share. You know what I'm saying? And so then there are moments where you deserve privacy. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what I think Tua was kind of indicating that, hey, the huddle is a private moment where we all get to air out our grievances for a moment, get a message out or something like that that has maybe nothing to do with the coach or the situation, but something that needs to be said or done or whatever, you know, at that point. So I thought it was kind of interesting what Tua was talking about, having to, you know, wear that camera and be a part of the huddle. But at the same time, it allows him, the coach, to see what cadence, how the players are reacting to all of that. He also said it's also funny because Raekwon Davis makes funny noises when he lines up. And so we were kind of laughing at that because the camera onto his head, it's not just for Tua, it's also for everything else around him. So he has an awareness of what guys are doing and what they're not doing and where they're supposed to be and their responsibilities and those kind of things. In the end, I just think it's a great teaching tool. I think it's a really smart thing to have the camera there and help quarterbacks get better. Makes a lot of sense. Let's see. What else do we have? I agree, Big O, but you didn't finish reading my comment. Oh, I'm sorry. What did I say? Loving on the recent South Florida success, but not looking great for the Heat and the Cats. With that being said, which South Florida team do you think has the best chance to bring home the next championship? I think it's the Panthers. Out of these two, you're saying, or overall? You mean overall? I can't believe I'm going to say this.
I think I know where you're going.
The Dolphins. The Heat don't have the other star. I don't know if Jimmy's going to hold up for the next 3 years because I'm really terrified of it, to be quite honest. That's why I would have traded him, but whatever. And I don't know if they're going to get another star, to be quite honest. I mean, do you want to be honest? Wade brought Bosch here and LeBron with his relationships. Wade brought Butler here. Just saying, dude. It's not like they've been luring the stars here. It's been Wade that's been luring the stars here lately. Let's all be honest here. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if Riley had all the power that, you know, we want to claim to say that he has, and he brings the big three over, do you think they tell him, no, you got to trade for us because we want our bird rights? Oh, bro, if they wanted to play for Pat Riley because they came in for Pat Riley, they would have not worried about their bird rights. And that's because Dwayne brought him over. And Dwayne brought Butler over. So I don't think they're there. The Panthers, I think, have a hell of a team. They might be the one that they're either number 2 or number 1. It's either Panthers or Dolphins. Marlins aren't close. Inter's not close yet. It could let me see who they had around Messi. But right now, with what I know, I'm going to go Dolphins 1, Panthers 2. There you go. Okay? So. To actually an old school Polaroid Instamatic camera on his helmet today. It was totally trolling and funny. He took it off after a while and put on the real one. Yeah. Let's see exactly. Both team Cats and Heat need to play like they are literally on fire. The building is on fire. Smoke is in the air. Sirens and screaming in the background. Fight for survival. Only option. They do have to play desperate. You are correct. I think that's what you mean, and they do. Listening to the Wildlife's New Age Girl sounds like Steely Dan. Okay. Wow. That's interesting. Maybe I'll listen to it on the way home. Got to hand it to Coach McD. He is open to all possibilities that can help improve his offense. Yeah. Yeah, well, he's a smart guy. He gets it, dude. He gets it big time. Cutter's Edge Pro, by the way, we love the people at Cutter's Edge Pro, Will or Mike, Dade, Broward, Palm Beach counties. Folks, they can help you out. I've showed you pictures of my backyard and everything. We got to do video on the front yard, too. I got to show you the front yard also. Because, landscaping just takes your world to another level, to be quite honest. It takes your house, the value goes up immediately. Friends, family members are wowed right away. And also it creates a great environment for you. That's what we did with our backyard. Now we have kind of like a little oasis back there. We get to hang out with the dogs. We've got the artificial turf, which you're going to love the artificial turf. Dogs are never bringing any dirt or any mud in or anything like that. And when you're walking around your backyard and then you go back into the house, no mud, no dirt, no footprints, none of that. So that way your wife's not screaming at you. It's a beautiful thing when you're not bringing any dirt into the house. You know what I'm saying? And the shade and everything with all the trees. And we got a big, beautiful Sylvester palm tree. I mean, it is so important in today's world to enjoy the outside a little bit. You're paying mortgage and rent for the entire property, and a lot of us are just enjoying the house, and you're not enjoying your yard. And that's what we're doing now. We've got kind of like a little lifestyle change now because of the backyard, and it is absolutely awesome. So reach out to my friends at Cutter's Edge Pro, 954-472-0622. That's 954-472-0622. And tell them that Big O sent you. And trust me, you're going to love it. If you have dogs, you're going to especially love the artificial turf. That thing is absolutely awesome. Richard Krasko, thank you for the love on the super chat, my man. Big O, you've inspired me so much to get into the crypto game that I've been watching a lot of Crypto Casey. She's good. She's very good. She's very smart. What was your formula for putting money in? DCA, man, dollar cost average. I find the companies that I like and I stay strong and I stay and I try to lower my number as much as possible. So anytime I see there's a dip and it goes down to a lower number than I have my average, I continue to DCA and DCA and DCA, except for Bitcoin. Bitcoin, I don't stop buying. Okay? All right? I just keep buying Bitcoin. All right? The second it starts a parabolic move, I stop and I'm done. Okay? But Bitcoin for me, whether I got it at 16.5 or at 17.5 or at 25 or at 30, I'm not going to stop buying it. And if it's at 27 now, 26 and a half, I'm going to keep buying it. Okay? I may not buy it at 50 or 70, but right now under 30, I'm going to keep buying and buying and buying and buying and buying. I won't stop when it comes to Bitcoin. Okay? But all the other ones, I haven't bought Ethereum in a long, long time because my average for Ethereum is somewhere in the 1,000 range. something like that, 970, 1,000, 1,050, somewhere there is my average. So unless there's a huge dip, because it's at 1,800, so I'm way in the profits. I'm not going to buy any Ethereum unless there's a massive dip into there, and I won't stop. Look, Algorand, I love Algorand. I don't care all the FUD that's out there. I know Algorand. I'm a big believer in Algorand. I'll keep buying. It's at all-time lows right now over the last few years. I'm going to continue to load up on Algorand and lower my number because it's a lower number than I've had here the last couple of days here, and I'll keep doing that and then lower my average. So that's my style. That's the way I look at it. But I look into what the company is, what real use case it has. Okay, I don't like meme coins and shit coins out there and companies that aren't doing anything. I got to look into what are you all about? What are you providing? What real world service are you going to provide that people every day are going to need it? Okay, then I find out who are the owners. I try to find out what kind of money they have behind all of that. And then I find out also what kind of partners they have in all of that. Then I also find out what the total amount of tokens are available, because if it's a ridiculous amount, then it's just too many that are in circulation, kind of like the dollar. And so then I don't want that because it's too hard for me to build. Or I also got to see of the supply of the coins that are available, how many are locked up by the people in the corporation, and how many people in the corporation own a percentage of the coins? Is it a large portion? Because then those people can then sell off it whenever they want and kill the value of it. Okay, so there are a lot of reasons and things why I invest. I also want to know where the market cap is, because if it's incredibly high, well, then how in the hell are you going to start doubling and tripling it? It's going to be hard, right? Because you're already worth so much. So the other thing I want to see is I want to try to find something that has a lower cap value or a market cap. So that way I know I can 2, 3, 4 times, 10, 20, 40 times it, and I have room to grow. I think that's also incredibly important too. So there's a lot of factors that I use when I'm trying to determine what company I'm going to invest in and why I like them and why I believe in them. And then when I do believe in them, I stay strong at it and I continue to lower my number and I wait patiently until it bounces back. And right now we're not even in a bull market. We haven't even started, the bull market yet. So for me, the last 18 months has pretty much been mostly about accumulation. That's the way I kind of look at it. Okay. Let's see what else. Oh, just read an article. XRP hits new milestone, about to dethrone Ethereum. Your thoughts on both of them and the direction? Is the milestone considering the SEC lawsuit? I think they're going to win the lawsuit. So that's what's really going to be a trigger for it. XRP and Ethereum are completely different things. The other thing I don't like that goes on in crypto, there's too much of this I love my coin, I hate your coin thing. So if you have these people that are Ethereum hunks and they don't want to know anything about Cardano. And then you have these Cardano people that can't stand Avalanche or Ethereum or something like that, or that they love Solana and that Solana will bring down Ethereum and all that. And that's just not the case. The case is going to be that several blockchains are going to make it, several are going to fail too. We're not just going to have one blockchain. We're going to have several blockchains. Okay. It's just, it's kind of ridiculous. There's this fandom thing that goes on with some crypto people, and it shouldn't be about that. Like some Bitcoin maxis are like, it's only Bitcoin and everything else is crap. And that's bullshit too, man. Do your homework, but crapping on another company or another coin that actually happens to be a good one doesn't make you look very smart. And at the same time, it's not something that's productive for everybody overall. So choosing sides, I think, kind of doesn't make sense, to be quite honest with you. Okay. And acting so fanatical about it. If you invested in something you like, then stay at it and stay strong. That's the best part. That's how you get it done, man. All right, we thank Alan Poupart. We thank Marcel Louis-Jacques. We thank Steve Calabro, of course. We thank Sean Stanley, the man, the myth, the legend that masters this platform every single day. We shall see you tomorrow. We'll be live at Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines, baby, at 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 in Pines. We'll see you all out there, and we'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place, same bat channel. Have a great one.
Your home for everything Heat.
They stand eye to eye with history, and they did not blink. The Heat are going to the NBA Finals.
Panthers.
The Florida Panthers are heading to the Stanley Cup Final.
The Big O Radio Show goes deep on playoff coverage.
We don't care what the rest of the world is saying. We don't care who's criticizing who. You got to line up between these four lines, and let's figure this out.
The Big O Radio Show.